Birds get the toast.
Oh, you should write a song about that.
Just toast. I'm gonna think about it some.
FOTMs, do you know what time it is? It's toast time. Toast, featuring Stu Stone, Cam Gordon, and Toronto Mike.
I gotta make a new theme.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just toast.
Don't fuck with the classics. New Coke.
Print the legend.
We don't print the legend around here. I'll call Robert Lawson on your ass. Welcome to episode 1399. One away from a major milestone episode. We'll talk about that. Of Toronto Mic'd. Proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery. A fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. That's where we live. The GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. The Advantaged Investor Podcast from Raymond James Canada. Valuable perspective for Canadian investors who want to remain knowledgeable, informed, and focused on long-term success. Season 5 of Yes, We Are Open, an award-winning podcast for Moneris, hosted by FOTM Al Grego. And Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921. Today, returning for the 23rd episode of Toast, is Rob Preuss.
Good morning.
And Bob Willette.
Good morning.
Okay, why are we recording at 9:30 a.m. on this Wednesday, December 27th? Let's start with you, Bob Willette.
Well, we had discussed doing something between Christmas and New Year's the last time we got together, and we had settled on tomorrow evening or tomorrow with no time.
I was flexible.
Yeah, and that was all good to me. However, something has come up in my life, and that has just made it impossible for me to do it tomorrow. A very good friend of mine is actually going through a divorce. It's quite hard, and he's rented,
Rob's been through several.
He's rented the truck, and so we're going to empty the house tomorrow.
You're a good
and
friend.
it's going to be an emotional day, and I didn't want to.
Is it his first divorce?
Yes, it is.
Oh, you never forget your first.
Yeah, you
no.
never forget.
That's right. And there's three.
Bob, you'll find out soon.
There's 3 kids involved. Oh, I know. My wife's going to leave me anytime now. Anyhow, and then after that, like I'm leaving.
It's the morning.
I'm going to see I'm actually driving to Detroit on Friday morning. Wow. And I'm going to see the Raptors this weekend in Detroit.
My condolences.
Nice. Yeah, so they're not fun. But you know what? The Detroit Pistons are even worse. They just lost their 27th in a row.
I saw that. That's
it's amazing.
wild.
It's going to be anyway. So, gentlemen, allow me to publicly apologize for changing and making it at 9:30 on.
I'm glad we could do it at all.
I am glad we could do it at all.
So like,
well.
I'm going to look at Rob Preuss now.
Yeah.
It'll be off mic a bit. Just to say that means Bob is a good friend, and I support friendship.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm pro friendship,
and I'm happy to just be able to make it.
So
work.
I think Bob made the right call.
Yep.
Now, let me tell you about numbers, numerology. You guys big on numerology?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so the way I just let things fall naturally. I didn't want to force anything for 1400. Like 1400 is like a nice round number, but like whatever. Okay, so if everything just happened as it was scheduled, you guys were going to be episode 1400. Like this would be 1400. What a big milestone number.
Yep.
But then when I found out Bob and his buddy and the divorce, and then we flipped things, I reached out to Mohit, who's kicking out the jams. He was going to kick out the jams today at 11 a.m., which is a more reasonable time, I think. Okay,
yes.
We basically did a trade. So Mohit will kick out the jams tomorrow at 11, and you guys are here now. I'm glad to have you here, but we're now $13.99.
I think that's a psychologically a cool number though, because like think about stores, the psychology of pricing shit. $13.99 sounds like a better deal than $14.
Okay, speaking of stores, for those who don't look at the photos that we attach to all of our episodes, and why the hell wouldn't you? Come on. What sweatshirt are you wearing? What hoodie are you wearing there, Rob Preuss?
Today it's Consumers Distributing.
That's great.
Where the lowest price is the law. No, that's Zellers.
No, that was Zellers.
Get it right. I will tell you, we had one on Dundas, between Jane and Runnymede, and that was my local Consumers.
Yeah.
And I remember going through the catalog and circulating, and then like 50-50 chance it was out of stock.
Yes. I read some blog, they just posted an interesting thing about sort of the history of consumers, and apparently that's what did them in, was that so often people would go to the store and what you wanted was not in stock.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. But
I bought my very first Sega Genesis from a Consumers Distributing.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was like 1990, 91, I guess. I was 14 or 15 years old. I had saved my pennies and bought it at the Consumers Distributing on Carlaw, where there was a food city and a drug city.
Oh, man.
Not a Boots?
No Boots, no.
Because the Boots
was Food City and
tied
Drug
with
City.
the Food Cities. It was like an Oshawa Foods.
No, and then in the basement, what was in the basement? Towers.
Yeah, So the common combo, the common bundle was Towers, Boots, which became Pharma Plus, I think, but Towers, Boots, and Food City were like a bundle you had in a lot of Toronto.
So we had that, but we called it Drug City for some reason. It was Drug City. Right.
Yeah. But the mentality behind consumers was really like what we have today, shopping online, where looking through a catalog was like the coolest thing, because you're like, oh my God, I could have this thing that I'm looking at on this page. Yep. Now it just happens to be on a screen, but it's the same. Amazon is like the new Consumers Distributing, except
if the internet was like one big room in the back.
Yeah.
Everything is in stock and no little pencils are needed.
All those pencils.
I remember thinking like it was like the beer store, right? Because your product came on the roller.
That's right.
Thing, and it was like, it's like this is like when you see adults get beer and it comes in.
That's right.
It's very exciting. Okay, so I do remember I have a very nice memory of like buying a dual cassette thing, and it had a record player on the top and of course a radio, and it was like from Citizen.
Yes.
Nice.
And I got that at the my local Consumers Distributing, and I remember buying like a clock radio, and I think the brand was Candle. Do you remember?
Remember Candle? Of course.
Candle and Citizen. They're
Candle and Citizen were my brands.
They're like adjacent to a Realistic brand.
Realistic was there as well.
Only Radio Shack.
Realistic Radio Shack.
Yeah, it was only Radio Shack.
Right.
But Citizen was like the Consumers Distributing.
Right.
Okay, but I did pull a clip. Actually, I think a listener, I can't remember which listener, but somebody listened to the last episode of Toast, and we talked about Rob's shirt. Do you remember
what I wore last time?
Do you remember? Okay, I'll give you a clue. But then they sent me this audio, okay? You ready?
Oh, yes.
Hello. It's Patrick. He took out life insurance.
Right.
Good for you, son. At my age, it's probably too late for life insurance.
Dad, the Millers are older than you.
All of a sudden you
and
can
they've
hear
just
them.
been insured by Norwich Union.
Really?
But you couldn't hear.
With my high blood pressure, I'm sure to be rejected. You must have to take a medical.
No, you don't. The guaranteed life insurance plan is designed especially for people over 50. Even if you were 75,
I'm almost
you'd
there.
still be insured without a medical.
I'll join
It
Rob
would be
there.
reassuring to leave some money. Let me take the number down. Guaranteed life insurance plan from Norwich Union.
Did he write all that?
That's the amount of time.
We know it's important to be insured for life.
Okay,
To
so
leave
it's
money to
Patrick.
those
You
you
took
love.
out life insurance,
Yeah,
and now you're wearing
guaranteed life
Consumers
insurance
Distributing.
plan gives
You're
you
covering all the bases.
Starting a trend. Next time.
I like it.
Who knows what's going to be next time?
Okay. Lots of ground. Firstly, how was your Christmases? Let's start with Bob. I know you got a couple of littles.
Yeah,
how
I
was
got
your
a
Christmas?
13-year-old girl and an 18-year-old girl. It was lovely. We had a very
18?
18. Did I say 18? 13 and 8. Oh my God, not yet. Jesus Christ.
I was like, how did you
happening.
like catch up like that?
No. 13 and 8, 5 years difference. Feeling the 5 years difference, gotta say. Right. And no, it's very good. And here's the thing that I didn't really say why I had to be 9:30 this morning is because as soon as we're done here, I'm going home, and then I'm grab my family, and we're driving to Richmond Hill for her family Christmas.
Man.
So her extended family
You need
Christmas.
to marry next
Who are
time.
big fans, by the way. Uncle Phil, Aunt Jackie, they listen to the show. They love your podcast. They listen all the time.
Uncle Phil listens.
Uncle
to the
Phil
show.
listens to the show
and Aunt
all the
Jackie?
time. And Aunt Jackie.
Because she's from Roseanne, and he's
That's
from
right.
Fresh Prince
There
of
you go.
Bel-Air.
Uncle Phil and Aunt Jackie. That's right. Yeah, they listen all the time. They'll listen to
But
this.
do they only listen to Bob Willette
No, they
episodes?
listen to all your episodes. They
Is
love.
that right?
They love the show.
Okay, I
They're
like
big
them very
fans
much.
of the show.
Okay, so I won't say anything negative. I do
Yeah.
like.
So that's
Richmond
why-
Hill.
that's why I had to
but
do
I'm gonna give
9:30
you
today.
advice, and this is like, close your ears, Aunt Jackie and Uncle Phil. But next marriage, marry a woman whose family is way out of town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richmond Hill, you can. Yeah.
You can get there, no problem. Yeah.
Like I first time I had like the way out of town, White Rock, BC is where.
my.
And now Edmonton, Alberta. Like
There you go.
Richmond Hill's too close.
So women who are lonely and have no family are the ones who marry you.
Correct. That is correct,
Edmonton.
Bob.
From Edmonton.
There you go.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, it was very nice.
How
Thank
was
you
your
very
Christmas, Rob Preuss? Was
Mine
it
was
in
great.
Burlington or New York? Where was
Yes, it was in Burlington. So my wife is Jewish, so we celebrate Hanukkah as well for just a night night, like with her mom, and we have that part of it, and then we get to come up to Canada for Christmas, which was great. We got up on the 23rd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
That would be a nice song, like Canada for Christmas.
Exactly.
You could write that song. Okay.
And yours,
would be
yours,
sung-
Mike?
Yeah, how was yours?
Yeah, I forgot about. I'm here too. Okay, it was great. Yeah,
was
I
good.
mean, Michelle
Busy?
arrived on the 22nd of December from McGill in Montreal.
Nice.
And yeah, we had a good Christmas, and then we watched this really nice movie that night, which was starring Paul Giamatti, and it's called The Holdovers. And it was
right.
I liked the pacing. Very Alexander Payne is behind this. He's I feel like Bob would be a big Alexander Payne guy. I don't know. I get that vibe. Okay, so Sideways. Do you remember Sideways?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's his.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
his
Sideways
genre.
great.
Okay, so this movie with Paul Giamatti, I really liked the pacing because it was like a slow burn, but I really got into the spirit of the thing and the music, and it takes place in the early 70s.
Nice.
And I'm just here to say I loved it. It was like I don't normally go for these movies that are like 2+ hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got 2+ hours, but I thoroughly enjoyed this film called The Holdovers.
Excellent.
That's Mike's movie review. So watch out, Richard Krause.
We watched a nice holiday movie called Office Christmas Party.
Oh, Monica's
that's
literally been
hilarious.
watching that over the last few days.
I've never
That's
seen it. It's one of my
hilarious.
sister's favorites.
Oh
so
my
I'm like,
gosh, it's
okay,
hilarious.
Gather the kids
It's
around.
crazy.
It's really crazy. It was fun.
Okay, I know Jimmy Buckets is in that, right? Jimmy Butler. Is in that.
Maybe.
Just fun. I don't know. Does Rob know who Jimmy Butler is?
No.
I didn't think.
Oh,
so.
is he the basketball dude?
He's a basketball.
Yeah,
dude.
that tall guy.
He's tall.
That tall guy. Yeah, yeah.
Most basketball
those
guys.
basketball guys that are tall.
Yeah.
Not all though.
Jason
Not all.
Bateman is my favorite though, and TJ Miller.
Oh, yeah, they're both.
Oh, he's. Do you know who his father-in-law is?
Yes, Paul Anka.
Correct. Okay.
Wow.
We dropped these. fun
TJ Miller's
facts.
father-in-law?
No, Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman's, yeah.
Jason Bateman's. Okay. I had Alan. So since you were last here, Rob Preuss, I had
Yes.
Alan Frew on the program.
I heard
He's talking about. Okay, you heard it. Good.
Yeah.
He's doing this whole 80s, 90s thing.
Yeah.
And I think, and I said this to him in real time, but I'm telling you now, you need to get in on this action.
No,
Rob Preuss from
I got no
Spoons.
connections.
What do you mean you got no? I'm your connection.
I know. He
I
says,
could broker that deal.
Alan Fruce, when you mentioned I was honored that you mentioned my name, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Rob," but I don't think he really knows who I am. He sort of remembers the band a little bit, but you know,
You think he's bullshitting me?
no,
Because I'll get. Well,
But
that
he's
would
got
be.
he's got good
if he
keyboard players
fakes-
already.
If he fakes knowing you and he doesn't know you, that's actually bullshitting. But I will call in. I'm not afraid to call in Robert
no.
Lawson.
He's got
to
a band
fact
already.
check that episode.
Robert Lawson is going to be on call for every episode now.
Yeah.
He's the fact checker.
Don't fuck with me. Bob Willette, it was an honor and a privilege to see you at TMLX 14. I can't believe you made the drive and you showed up, and that meant a lot to me.
I did. You're most welcome. And I had a lovely sandwich. It was great. And it was nice to talk to my local city councilor, who turns out lives around the corner from me. And
Brad Bradford.
Brad Bradford.
I love that name.
Yes, I know.
Oh yeah, you did. That's right. You were.
Yeah.
We made him work on his visit to TMLX 14.
That's right. Yeah, I still haven't seen him in the neighborhood. I think he avoids me because he knows I'm not a big fan of the way he votes, generally speaking. So on the council, but he's. It was a lovely time. Nice to see all the FOTMs, and thank you for letting me get on the mic there. Cam was there.
I
No
know.
Stu.
No.
Cam was there. I asked Cam on behalf of yourself, Rob,
Yes.
and me, for some, advice as being the veteran toast hosts.
Yeah.
And he had nothing.
Nothing.
That was kind of disappointing.
Cam.
Yeah.
I don't
liked
think
your-
Cam was on his. I don't think he was on his game that day.
He was a little.
actually.
He seemed a little low,
No,
lower energy than usual.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I think we talked about it. I think he came on since then. He's been down here.
His
We talked about
episode,
it.
your return episode with Cam was really good. I mean, not return, but the most recent one.
Yeah. And I think that was more regular Cam. But
Yeah.
I do believe, because I was off my game for TMLX 14, so I actually said this is some behind the scenes action. I said to Cam Gordon, I'm going to need you to do more heavy lifting in the whole thing, because I wasn't sure. I wasn't even sure I was going to be there. I was like, am I going to have TMLX 14?
Were you not feeling well?
I was sick already. I was sick
Right.
for a period of, yes, I was sick for days before. And then I was like, I'm pulling it together for TMLX 14. So I didn't feel particularly sharp that day.
Oh.
Like, I don't know if it came across because there's so much frenetic action.
No, the
You probably
good thing
couldn't
was Cam was so low that you seemed high. That's good.
tell. But I really was relying on the wrong guy. He was not himself and
Cam.
not on the game. Yeah.
Low Cam.
He'd tell
Low
you.
Cam.
Cam was off his game. I don't think he was feeling very well. But Bob, you were there. And Rob, you could not make it.
No, and I'm sorry I missed it, but I heard it was amazing.
Well,
I actually haven't listened to that episode yet. I got to
You
tune
should,
into
because
it. Yeah.
I know you're a big sports fan.
Yeah.
So it opens with Stephen Brunt.
Okay.
And,
is that a sports guy?
But I would say because the day before was the Phantom Flight of Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, right.
Oh my God.
And then during our recording, we actually got the news that he was a Dodger, and he dodged us, that's for sure. But having Stephen Brunt on the mic to talk about that was kind of a special thing. Like, people wanted to hear from Stephen Brunt on Saturday morning, and there was only one place you would find him, and that was at TMLX 14 at Palma's Kitchen. So thank you, Palma Pasta, for hosting and feeding everybody. I think everybody loved the food, and thank you, Great Lakes, for sending over some cold brewskis for that event. Amazing. Okay. We also lost Miles Goodwin, and I'm wondering if you, Rob Preuss, ever crossed paths with Miles Goodwin.
Never did. Loved his music though. I mean, I mean, he's
like
the sound
a 70s guy.
Oh yeah, but he's the sound of my childhood. I mean, definitely when I look at those April Wine greatest hits, and though I didn't actually own any of the records, I heard them enough on the radio that I was, when you're a kid, you don't have a huge record collection. You got to be more selective with what you're purchasing. But I loved all those songs. Like, seriously, yeah.
Basement Dweller thinks I should fact check all episodes. Like, every episode should have a post show with Robert Lawson where we go through it.
Wow.
But yeah, so I didn't listen to a lot of radio in the 70s. I don't know if they listened to radio in the 70s. Maybe I overheard some in the car or something like that. Probably CBC radio or something like that. But absolutely, when I had Miles Goodwin on Toronto Mike, I started going through the catalog, and I was like, "Oh, that's an April Wine song.
Right.
That's an April Wine song." Yep. I think I did that like 20 times. Yep. I'm like, these are the sneaky deep catalog of Canadian radio hits.
Yep. Especially as we as the years go on, and we have our Canadian countdowns and like the Canada Day countdowns.
Sure.
And that's where over the years it all accumulates, and you hear all these songs, and they just become a part of your culture.
Do you have a favorite April Wine song?
Tonight is a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love, and there's a ballad from like their early days called, I think it's called I'm on Fire for You, Baby.
Okay, that song,
nice.
Tonight is a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love. Did you know it's covered by the Trans-Canada Highwaymen on their new album, and they played it live at the Horseshoe Tavern?
You were at that show.
I was at that show. Well, two of those guys were in my basement.
I thought they were so good on your show.
Well, they're great.
They're great.
They're great. And those are, I mean, I like all four members of that band, but if I had to like close my eyes and which two would I like in the basement right now, I would pick Chris Murphy from Sloan and Stephen Page from Bare Naked Ladies.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
I didn't know which two I was going to get. Okay, radio program guy, radio. What's your title, Bob?
My title is Mr. No, it is program manager.
Mr. Willette, program manager. Okay, your stations are not stations that play classic rock, correct?
Yes, they are.
They are?
Yeah, my Big FM is a classic hits, classic rock station.
So when Miles Goodwin died?
Yeah.
Tell me what's the mechanism in place? Is there a button where you can insert April Wine songs that weren't pre-programmed? Can you please give us some background?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who's on the air. We have 2 live shows a day, and if the live shows happen to be when
so morning and drive.
Yep, 6 to 10, and actually though. It's been announced. Actually, I could talk about this. Something big. We're going to be live on Big FM 96.3 Big FM from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day because
of Bill Willette.
Because Bill Willette is going to be doing middays on my radio station.
Because Cora sends me an email every time they have an announcement.
Yeah.
Oh, you can share this news.
I helped write that PR release.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
share the news.
You know, in the case of a guy like Miles Goodwin, it's not like getting John Lennon. No offense, in the middle of the night. We already play a ton of.
He's the Canadian John Lennon. I would say,
there you go.
Right?
It's we're not interrupting Monday Night Football for that. So we would play. We already play a lot anyway. We would just throw some in for sure. Yeah, and then a producer in Ottawa put together a little memorial, and we would have spun that a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. A little gathering of music together.
But I'm curious. So let's say if someone dies right after the afternoon drive, let's say, we got news. And let's use Miles Goodwin as the example. So a founder, lead singer, principal songwriter for a big Canadian rock 70s band like April Wine. So he dies, and you find out, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, it hits the wire or whatever. Is there still a wire? It's probably hit.
Yeah, there is.
You saw it on Twitter.
There is.
On Twitter.
Sure.
Okay. So you don't have any live programming till 6 a.m. 6 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
Is there anything you, Bob Willette, can do to have some April Wine played that night?
I could, yes, but I would.
But you wouldn't do it for that gentleman. It would have to be like Neil Young or something.
Yep, precisely.
Where's the bar? Like, would you do it if Bryan Adams died?
Probably would do my best to do so.
Okay,
you got to remember, we're in a bit of a different. You're in a bit of a different situation right now because I, the program manager, work remotely. I'm not in the market. It's not like I could run it, drive in, and go do something, which I would if depending.
There's
on who
no one on the premises that could do that.
No. No. And both guys who I'm the one now with Bill. Bill would go in. If I called Bill Willette, he'd go in and do it if it was somebody big. Yeah. The other two guys don't live close enough to the radio station to make it happen, to be completely honest.
Now, is it all like you'll just think on it for a second, like, are they big enough? So you're like, Miles Goodwin? No, we're not doing it for Miles. Okay, but you might do it for Bryan Adams. So we got to find the guy between the two. What about Alan Frew? Alan Frew driving home from TMLX, not big enough. Alan Frew.
Sorry.
You will forget him when he's gone.
Wow.
It's when you're telling me, okay, Corey Hart.
No.
Not Corey Hart. Okay, so
if it's not
between
if it's
Corey and
yeah.
Brian.
Yeah.
Who's between Corey and Brian?
I don't know.
Okay, so we obviously you would do it for
Neil
Joni
Young,
and Neil.
That's a very there's a thin line.
Yeah,
Okay,
like Randy Bachman.
You do it for Randy?
Maybe.
That's
Depends.
interesting.
Maybe Randy or
If you won't do it for Randy, I'd say Bob. No, listen, I don't know what it's like to be in radio, but Randy fucking Bachman was in
Bachman,
the guest.
by the way.
It's Bachman.
It's not.
That tells us you didn't listen to the Triple
you're right.
It is
I
Bachman.
didn't. It is Bachman.
But it's Bachman Turn Overdrive.
Right.
Bachman.
It's Bachman Turn Overdrive, but it is
apologize.
radio. This guy listens. I love this guy. This is my guy. Okay, so hold on here. Hear me out. The Guess Who and Bachman Turner Overdrive are two legacy, huge Canadian rock bands.
Yep.
But if the founder of those two, Bachman was there at the beginning, right? Yep. So it's Burden who comes in later. So, and we just lost Chad Allen, which we talked about in that Robert Lawson episode. So you're not going to interrupt programming to insert Guess Who songs and BTO songs because Randy Bachman passed away.
It comes down, it honestly just more comes down to what tools I have at my fingertips, and unfortunately, radio has been cut so deep. We just don't have the people to do it. Unfortunately,
because you don't live in Kingston.
No, if I lived in Kingston, I would go do it myself. But other than that, I don't have live people. I don't have producers. I don't have. It's just the way. It's just there's no radio station in the country that has anybody there. After I mean, there are some bigger markets that have live evenings, but most of the time nobody does. There's just not. We don't have the capabilities.
This is why podcasters are eating your lunch, okay, Bob? I'm telling you, I would have a 2-hour tribute to Bachman in the feed 10 minutes after the announcement's passing.
Yeah.
It'll be like
that's a different world.
But you're also let's be honest. You are in the 1% of podcasters.
Oh my God, you had me. Yeah. They're announcing the winners of this Canadian Podcasting Award. They're announcing it Friday because I've been nominated for 2 awards. Wow. So next week I could be introducing this show as award-winning.
That's right. Yeah.
But I might do it anyways because who the fuck will take the time to Google
Just say it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Look, man. I would love to be able to do it for everybody if I had the capabilities.
I
just can't.
And it's a different world that we live in now because people aren't tuning.
You don't find out.
No, exactly.
But even the classic rockers, I feel like the guys who loved Miles Goodwin might be the same guys who go to big. They're the guys who are listening.
They are still listening to the radio.
And they might want to tune in and hear Ooh What a Night. Although he doesn't sing on that song, but he's still the co-writer of that.
But like what people do now is they tune into their own personal playlists, and playlists show up instantly on Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah.
Right?
I know, but the boomers are still listening to.
They are. The boomers are still listening, and and we're not. I don't know if anybody's eating
but
our
I do.
lunch.
I could do 9. I actually find it interesting. Like when a big Canadian corporate rock star like Miles Goodwin dies, like what does that do to the Kingston, Ontario chorus?
Not a heck of a lot, to be honest.
Very interesting.
Unfortunately,
we learned a lot today, right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a different world. It's a changing world.
I wish.
And honestly, the thing is, because like as generations go on, it's sad for us to get older and acknowledge that some of our shit doesn't have the same
resonance.
level of importance to a larger spectrum of the population. But that's just life, right? Like when old actors die and people are like, "Who's that? I don't know who that is."
No, exactly.
And then I'll Wikipedia certain actors and go, "Holy shit! I didn't know this guy was in."
Okay, but on Turner Classic Movies, they give a shit, right? So we're talking about a classic rock station.
So Turner Classic Movies also isn't going to interrupt programming.
Yeah, that's
because they don't have the facilities to do it. No, they don't.
I don't even have this station. I just assume they're interrupting programming. Okay, we have a breaking news. Name a big Dick Van Dyke just passed away.
Yeah, they're not going to have somebody come in and do that. No, by the next day, maybe they'll have some Dick Van Dyke movies in.
I don't like this world where we can't react.
But it's your duty as a podcaster to continue the trend.
Exactly. That's what CNN, like TV, does it. But
I know John Lennon, but I'm just telling you. If Miles Goodwin, the version of Miles, like obviously John Lennon, that was huge. All the stations are doing live programming. It was a different time or whatever. Obviously, but I'd like to think that at that time, if the Miles Goodwin of the time had died, it would be very similar. Like there'd be a DJ playing the music, maybe taking calls from people who are talking about how much they loved, a lot of people of a certain vintage, kind of the Rob Preuss vintage.
Yep.
Humble Howard is like this with Miles. Freddie P didn't give a fuck that Miles Goodwin.
No, he
died.
wouldn't.
No, he just did not care.
Yeah.
He didn't listen. It's like it never happened. It's like I don't care. But meanwhile, you have Moose Jaw Howard, who that was his first concert. He tuned in his top 40 radio. It was covered with April Wine. Like I know because I booked Miles Goodwin on Humble and Fred. This was a very big deal. Like I'd like to think in that there was a time when radio would go have a live person talking about April Wine, maybe an expert, maybe young Eric Alper. Eric Alper would call in and talk about April Wine, and then you'd play a lot of April Wine on the radio.
Yeah,
that's all. Okay.
Yep,
sure. Let's get a time machine.
You don't have the money.
We don't have the facility. We don't.
You don't have the money. It's all about money. You don't have the money. Okay.
Yep.
You don't have the budget. Okay. There was a conversation in the FOTM group on WhatsApp in which Mark Weisblad openly wondered if the Spoons had an autograph session at Cheapy's 83, 84. Rob, what do you say?
Yeah. I saw that he mentioned that and was wondering if it was around this time of the year. We did one in 84, but it was like New Year's. And I believe it wasn't Cheapy's, it was Sam the Record Man. It might have been Cheapy's though. I mean,
so tell me about Cheapy's. I don't have any
I don't know this
Cheapy's
place. What's
experience.
Cheapy's?
You don't remember Cheapy's?
I
Really?
don't know Cheapy's.
When did Cheapy's? Because I know as Bob and I are similar vintage, but we'd go downtown and there was A&A, and there was Sam, and then of course HMV showed up at 333.
Oh, that's funny because Cheapy's like was in that same block. I don't know if it was on the other side of the other side.
Is that where Sunrise ended up being?
Oh, wasn't it Music World? Or did Music World become Sunrise?
I don't
know. Sunrise was the one.
Something across the street, which might have been like a Music World or a Sunrise.
Cheapy's was just was a discounted place that.
Do you know when it disappeared?
Not a clue.
Okay, well, somebody in the chat, there are some people joining us. I'm going to shout them out, and then we're going to introduce the topic for today's.
Early for us.
That's right. I got to crack open my drink here. Yeah. Are you going to crack open a beer or anything?
I'll drink a beer.
Well, I can get it out of the fridge. So let me. I'm going to play a song, and then I'm going to introduce the theme.
Oh, okay, good.
And then you two can talk about the theme.
Oh, yeah, this is
and
warm.
I'll get you. What do you want? You want
Just
a lager?
Any
you want a lager?
I don't want anything. I'm going to crack open my Tim Hortons.
Oh, Tim Hortons?
Yeah, I'm saving
my
Tim Hortons.
Well, let me get a lager for the alcoholic.
The functional alcoholic will have one.
You can drink at 10 o'clock a.m.
Sure you can.
Okay.
It's 9:58.
You could drink at 7 a.m. I used to work on a morning show. We drank all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I will just very quickly shout out that I see, I mentioned Basement Dweller. He mentions that Alan Cross is a big April Wine fan. And again, he grew up in Winnipeg, I
because
think.
he grew up in Winnipeg. Yeah. Exactly.
Your top 40 station would have been littered with, and then Jerry Seinfeld is, who's Jerry Seinfeld? Okay, Jerry Seinfeld's on the live chat and says, Bachman Turner Classic Movies. Okay, Cheapy's was open.
It just closed.
But that's in Hamilton.
No,
that's
Hamilton. Yes.
Hamilton. Right.
I never bought a single album in Hamilton.
I sure did.
Can Mark Weisblad, who's on the live stream, tell us when Cheapy's in downtown Toronto closed? Because I have zero memory of it. Canada Kev is here. He says Toronto Mike just won the Canada Kev Favorite Podcast Award. It's embargoed, and he says, don't say anything. So I fucked that up.
Give a good embargo to Toronto Mike to find out what they're worth.
Dweller does wonder aloud, Bob, this is for you.
Sure.
That when the founders of Trooper pass away, will there be a 24-hour tribute on your stage?
Are you talking about me personally, or?
Anyway, he's just stirring shit there, I think. Okay.
Hey, look, I would love to do a lot more. That's all. I've been told I might get in trouble for how open I am about my business.
I think you guys need to be more transparent.
I agree.
You're good and open.
Yeah,
but I
get people who are like, I can't believe you talk so openly about some of the issues with your work. And I'm like, well, I talk open. This is why I'll never be higher than middle management, is because I don't manage up very well. I'm not very great at not letting them know how it feels down here.
Right. But you're speaking the truth, and
I try to.
The truth hurts to a lot of people who don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You're speaking truth to power, Bob. Don't let the man keep you down. Okay.
That's right.
So Cambrio's here. Hello to you. Leslieville is here. Nice to see you, Leslie. GWTO. I'm not too sure who that is. Remember the Great Wayne Gretzky jeans? Was that GWG? Great Wayne Gretzky.
Yes.
Remember that?
So
Okay.
I've never heard
Early
GWG
80s?
called. Yeah, I don't remember GWGs,
I do remember that.
but I don't remember Great Wayne Gretzky. That's funny.
There was a campaign with Wayne wearing the jeans.
Really?
It was Great Wayne Gretzky. I have
up there with
vivid
Wranglers.
memories.
Yeah.
I'd say like 84.
Yeah.
That's funny.
When I was coming of age.
Acronyms with
Moose Grumpy is here. Rob Preuss is here. That's weird.
I know. I'm right here. And
Look at you.
Okay, so I have an
I can't remember my
introduction.
login, so I can't get in.
Oh, yeah.
You can sign in.
You got to talk to Ian Service.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Okay. So no one picked this song.
No, good.
But I thought this was a good example of a gibberish jam.
Yeah.
And you spell gibberish with a J so I can get alliteration in there.
Gibberish jam.
Gibberish jam. You two tell the listenership what the rules are for today's jam kicking, and I will run upstairs and get Bob a beer.
Oh, thank you. I don't know. So this came to me just kind of randomly. I pitched it after last episode.
After some song we played last episode, you thought of it, I think. It hit you.
Yeah, I pitched it. I was like, you know what? Why don't we do songs that have and we came up with gibberish afterward. But I said, that I said oobla dee oobla da was my example. Yep. Songs that have words that aren't words.
Sounds, phonetical.
Yeah, and
phonetical.
I thought we would, given our varied backgrounds, although Mike and I's backgrounds aren't that varied from each other, but I thought we'd be able to come up with some interesting choices.
And I shouldn't mention certain songs because off the top of our heads, certain songs came into our heads.
Yeah, right away.
So maybe they're going to be here
They
today.
might be Hansened, or because they were.
I hope there's a lot that could be Hansened.
Oh, there's you don't until you start thinking about it.
Yeah.
You don't really realize how many songs have words that aren't really words. They just have sounds in them. You know?
Sure.
Yeah, it's
yeahs and things like that.
Yeah,
I mean, does that count?
Does that count? Yeah. Well, you know what? I should. That's what I should have done. Is come up with something. Thank you, sir. Oh, look at this. Ooh, this is a nice work. There you go. I'll wait until you sit down. I'll open it so you can hear it. So you're sponsored.
No.
Oh,
you want him now? Or
Did we do that
later?
before? Rob Preuss is gift bombing us.
Yep.
Did you guys tell the listeners interesting things?
We explained it well.
And we talked shit about you the whole time.
Yeah.
Thank you for my beer.
On the mic.
Of course.
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, you can open up your call. Yeah, ready?
Okay, thank you, Great Lakes. By the way, Great Lakes, thank you for... They do 6-month increments, and they have renewed...
Amazing.
Although I would be hurt, I think, because it's been like 6-7 years.
Oh, my gosh, I know.
That'd be a tough one when you go 6-7 years, and then you're like, we're pulling our sponsorship. We're going to sponsor Toronto Legends instead. I'd be very hurt by that. Okay. Rob, the floor is yours before we get to your first
Am I first?
No, you're giving
always
me.
First.
You're giving me. No, you're always first. You're giving me a gift.
Oh.
It's Christmas.
I'm going to give them both at the same time because they're the same thing.
Oh, okay.
But you can choose.
Okay, and then were these purchased at Rabba's?
You sure were.
Okay. At 13th and Lakeshore?
Aww.
13th and Lakeshore?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Thank you.
A Kinder surprise.
Come on now.
A massive Kinder surprise. Thank you.
Come on now. Ho, ho, ho.
Thank you, Rob.
It's just chocolate.
Rob.
You know, you could share it. You could.
It's lovely.
Hoard it,
Thank you,
whatever
sir.
you-
It's very nice.
Just a little holiday.
Rob, I have a gift for you as well. It's funny because at 13th and Lakeshore is where you find that Rabba's you were at.
Yep.
14th and Lakeshore is where Ridley Funeral Home is. You were 1 block away. You could have gone in and did a pre-plan.
I did a secret shout out. Well, like a secret Santa.
I have for you from Ridley Funeral Home. Merry Christmas. This is a measuring tape
Oh,
for you,
thank
Rob.
you.
I don't know if I've given you.
No, I got a
5 or 6.
flashlight from them.
Oh, you did get one?
Another
Yeah.
point, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I got a flashlight a year ago.
I have the tape measure.
Oh, you have it.
Oh
Okay.
no, I have the tape measure.
I don't know if your kids like some of your kids
sure, I'll
like
take
it.
it.
Or whatever.
Since
Take it out.
1921.
This is what I
Yeah.
hear.
That's amazing.
You didn't know Brad was that old.
No.
But,
Just
he
Brad
looks good for his age. No, Brad Jones.
Oh.
Brad Bradford is already excited about TMLX 15.
Is he
I'm
now?
just warning you now.
Nice.
And it's probably going to be, so guys can mark the date here and I'll confirm it later, but it's probably going to be June 27 at 6 p.m. at Great Lakes Brewery in South Etobicoke. It's going to be TMLX 15. So
Nice.
Rob,
Nice. June
plan
27th?
accordingly. June 27. Okay, I have a wireless speaker. This is from Moneris.
Yes.
Do you have one of these
Moneris-
already?
We both have one. Yes.
both have
We're
one.
good.
They
there.
only have this the last week of the Moneris sponsorship.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well,
Really?
listen,
Who's the sales guy?
This
Al
is the
Grego, I think. So
This is
Al's
the-
actually my guest on Friday. Maybe I'll do a hard sell on the air, okay? But this is so you can listen to season 5 of Yes, We Are Open, which is an they've won awards, okay? An award-winning podcast from Moneris. Merry Christmas, Rob.
Really? Thank you. I have one already.
Well, you don't have to take it.
Can
it's
I-
up to you.
You can just pretend to take him.
But seriously, though, my wife and I are
an excellent
obsessed
small
with this speaker. So I will take a second if that's really okay.
It's good for travel.
I was like, because people like celebrate the speaker, like
Yeah.
that's celebrating Moneris, but Moneris had all they did was buy the speaker. Like
Yeah.
they didn't
Right.
make
And,
that
but
speaker.
and somebody threw their logos on the front of it, right? Or is it? Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Okay, yeah. Somebody.
It's a
that's,
great
they
speaker, though.
customized it. Yeah, it is a great speaker because Moneris are great people,
Yes,
and that's a
thank
great
you, Moneris.
podcast. And Al Grego, I will say, will be here on Friday with his. He's got a Letter Kenny podcast.
which is also getting referenced in like Variety magazine or something.
Well, because and we talked about this when obviously you didn't hear Al Grego when he came on to discuss songs from season 5 of Yes, We Are Open. But we talked about it quite a bit. I think I did a great pitch that he had on the founder. Who's the founder? Liso?
Jared
Liso.
Kiso.
Okay. Jared Kiso doesn't do a lot of press. Like he hasn't impressed since the beginning or something. But he did do a Zoom with the produce stand people.
Wow.
And this is a big get. So anytime like Variety or anybody wants to write about Letterkenny, the only quotes you get from Jared Kiso about like not doing it anymore, because this is the end of the line, like they're done. They're going to do Shoresy stuff instead. So the only quotes you can get where Jared says, yeah, we're done, we're going to do Shoresy, is from the produce stand.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no other source for Jared Kiso quotes. So we'll talk more about this on Friday, because they're going to come on and tell me why I should enjoy Letterkenny more. So this is Friday's episode. Okay. So this topic is gibberish jams. And how quickly did you guys come up with your songs? Like, because I had like songs, like 3 or 4 songs that popped out of my head immediately.
I did too. Yep. But then the further I dug, the more I found.
Yeah.
Then I had to start thinning them out again, and so I've left a bunch on the floor and
tons of stuff.
I think
sometimes I do the digging thing, but this time I actually didn't do the
just
digging
went with the
thing,
first ones, eh?
because in my mind, like that song "Do a Ditty" was in my head right away. And that's how I said, I'll pull it for like to introduce the topic or whatever. So, and I know Bob did something interesting, because I'm going to ask him about a life event that just happened, but I'm going to save it for when he kicks out an unrelated bonus jam.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Typically your bonus jams are related to your jam you kicked out, but he's got an unrelated but appropriate song. So it's like a bonus jam, but then I have a update from Bob I can't wait to get. Okay. Cool. But we're going to start with, and I feel like Rob Preuss starts with this artist every fucking episode of Toast. This is how I feel. You know how Stu liked his yacht rock and he liked Michael McDonald, and I got to vibe like, okay, he's gonna kick out a Toto jam now. Like I always, it's another Toto jam. This is your Toto.
Yes, it really
ready,
is.
Rob?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, my cameo molesting. Keep out of 40.
But that's a language.
Nope.
This isn't French or Italian?
No, it's Italian, right?
It's not.
What?
That's gibberish? Oh, it sounds kind of Frenchy.
Now it sounds
Frenchy.
French.
It sounds
My
kind of
kids are
Italian.
upstairs and they're fluent. I'll bring them down.
It sounds a little Italian too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a mixture.
Like a hybrid.
This is like, if I'm doing Second City, this is like we do a whole thing called Gibberish Opera.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Freaking Elton John did it in 1974.
So this is Elton John.
Yeah, classic era Elton. Like he was bored. What I was doing a little research, he was inspired by the Beatles song "The Sun King" on Abbey Road. The sound of it and sort of that sound of like an exotic language happening. So he got Bernie to just write up these random lyrics.
That could have been your bonus jam. You're not thinking about bonus jams, Rob. Like you do, you
But I
have
don't
your
wanna play a
jam,
Beatles
and you're
song.
like, oh, it was inspired by a Beatles song.
But actually, I listened to the Beatles song to see if it was going to be relevant to listen to, and I was like, it's not really
Wasn't close enough?
Not really. I get it based on what the
You're
Sun
doing
King-
it wrong.
I don't care.
This is how many episodes of Toast have you done?
12.
That would have been a good anyways for us
I
to
know
play
that's
that
true.
and talk about
But
how
we
this
got so many
inspired
other
that
things
song.
to talk about. But the fact that he said to Bernie, I want to do a nonsense lyric, and it just kind of shows you that at that moment Elton could do no wrong.
So that is true. I find it interesting that
There's a little accordion in here too.
Oh,
see?
yeah,
Like,
another
related
accordion
to an old
jam. I just find it interesting that, like, if Elton wanted to do that, Elton can't even write fake lyrics.
I know.
Like, he can only do
could've,
piano.
right?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But so this was stuck on this album, which was called Caribou, which had 2 huge hits, Bitches Back and Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
Wow.
Was like the main giant hit off this album. So I didn't know this song really when I was a kid because I never had the album, but over the years I came to know it, and I just thought it's a fun, weird thing because he's not really singing about anything.
The whole song has no real lyrics.
No, literally gibberish. Literally
Then
gibberish.
it's a great opening jam
This
for
is
this
a
topic.
great one. Might be one of the
Well
greatest
done.
opening jams.
I don't know this song.
No,
I don't know it either.
But it
Big
sounds,
FM playing this?
Yeah.
Probably somewhere.
Yep.
Marsden probably played it.
Ironically, we played it when Miles Goodwin died. No kidding.
But it sounds like an Elton John song from the classic era, but just bullshit lyrics, right?
Yeah.
Which is why it kind of shows you he could take anything and just make it sound like a great song.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd argue like if he believed more in the music in that song, he wouldn't blow it with gibberish lyrics.
Oh, so what you're saying is that
He'd
I got
say,
this thing.
Bernie, I need real fucking lyrics because I got a hit on my hands. But that's a deep cut, right?
That's true.
A deep cut, Rob?
It is a deep cut.
Okay. And it's on Caribou?
It's on Caribou. Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
And the bitch is
1974.
back. Okay.
Nearly
What's the
50 years
song
old.
called?
It's called Solar Prestige Gamon.
What? Really?
Solar Prestige Gamon.
That's hilarious. I got to look that up.
Yep.
Okay, wow. We're off to a roaring start.
I mean, that to me, that's gibberish. Like gibberish can be just, like words in a chorus, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I sort of like this idea that there's whole phrases that sound like gibberish because it's just a whole other thing.
Very appropriate song for this topic. Elton wrote lyrics for several songs under an alias as per Basement Dweller.
Oh, wow.
Okay. What was the alias?
What's the alias, Basement Dweller? And
Jibberish
hello to
W.
Hey-Ref. Hey-Ref, he's by day, he's an accountant. At night, he's a referee for hockey games. And he was also at TMLX 14. So good to see Hey-Ref on the live stream. Bob Willette, are you ready for your first Jibberish jam?
Absolutely. We're going way back for this one.
How'd you like to blow your top? Dig yourself some fine rebop. Hidey, hidey, oh, the hidey ho, man, that's me. Hidey, 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 in London, I have them in Holland, I have them in gay Paris. Yes, sirree, yes, sirree. Oh, the howdy ho, man, that's me. Howdy, 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 howdy,
Come on. Even if you never heard it, you know how to sing along to it right away.
I think they do that at Raptors games.
Yeah, they might. Yeah. This is Cab Calloway.
Yes, can't beat it.
Yeah. The Heidi Ho Man.
My sister's name is Heidi, and she hates it when I play the song.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, my buddy, I was talking with a buddy of mine, and he's a big jazz fan. And I like, it's funny, you know, in your Spotify Wrapped Up, my second most listened to style of music was jazz, but like because of Dean Martin,
Okay.
like that kind of jazz, like
Classic.
standards,
Yes.
yeah. And Dean Martin was actually my most listened to artist last year, of all things.
Wow.
But,
it's like that boat on The Sopranos when they wanted that guy to
that's right.
sell.
So yeah, so this was actually a short film originally, Heidi Ho Man. And then it became a full movie.
Wow.
And Cab Calloway, I mean, come on, you know, one of them, like scat, you know, the whole
Okay,
that
tell
whole
me,
movement.
so Bob, I'm a couple years older, but not much. What is your introduction to Cab Calloway?
Introduction, you know,
I remember mine.
I feel like it was like the Cosby Show or something. I would have thought, but I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of been part of my it's part just out there in the ether. I feel like he's one of those artists.
But I feel
that's
like
just always
Janet
there.
Jackson brought him in. Like I feel like this is actually an idea I had for a topic. Do you remember when I ran by it? New artists introducing legacy artists to their audience.
Yeah. Right.
Remember this idea?
Yeah.
I
Like
pitched-
Bono singing with like
it floated.
Frank or
Yeah,
something.
it floated like a lead balloon when I pitched
Well,
it. But I had
now
my,
that you say this, I have an example.
Yeah.
This
so
makes
I
sense.
was thinking because there's a video on Much Music that we
Yes.
all watched with Janet Jackson and Cab Calloway.
Yes.
And this is Janet to her younger demo, like people like me, saying, "Hey, you guys should know about this this cat, man, this legacy artist, Cab
Right.
Calloway." And there's a bunch of examples that come to mind. I mean, who's the guy? Dizzy Gillespie.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with Dizzy Gillespie, and I remember the cheeks,
The big
right?
cheeks, sure.
The big fucking cheeks or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like these artists are introduced to you via like Bing Crosby and David Bowie.
Bing and Bowie,
Yes,
sure.
right? So
That's right.
Bowie's like, yeah, this is this old cat would sang White Christmas for God's sakes. Come on. And then he beat up his kids allegedly. I don't have any evidence of that. Okay, so Merry Christmas, everybody. Good choice, Cab Calloway. And we all got to share the earth with Cab Calloway.
Yep.
It was great. Yeah. Anyways, I just I thought it was interesting. He's as I read more about him and about his the movies and stuff. Huge stuff. Like it was really big.
And the sound of that music is so fun. Like
yes,
it sort of reminds me also of like I Love Lucy. Like watching old TV shows and things. Like there's a different sort of a fun night out kind of feeling to that music.
Yeah, it's very much like almost 20s, very like Glenn Miller 20s style, you know?
Do you remember growing up and watching Night Court?
Yes, of
course. And Harry Anderson would bring out Mel Torme.
He loved the Velvet Fog.
And he came because, he wrote the Christmas song.
Yeah, that's right.
That Nat King Cole had the big hit with.
Right. Yeah.
And he came up at Christmas at my mom's house and we were talking about Harry Anderson loving the Velvet Fog. And we all grew up with Mel Torme because Harry Anderson brought him out on Night Court.
I'll give you that. I like that.
That's a good example.
I don't know if there's 9 of them we could come up with.
Trust me, there's lots.
I bet there are.
Yeah.
Like once you start thinking.
It's still happening.
I've already used 2 of them.
Oh, Jack White would bring out, this is Loretta Lynn, and you should know Loretta Lynn.
Yeah.
Sounds like you should do the show on your own.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll drop this. I have a lot to do on
Do we want to do the other thing here?
Yeah, of course. Okay. I want to hear this. This is the most important stuff. Everybody, this is going to be, I think this is the biggest reveal in this episode of Toast. And we're going to soak this in because it's a
well, listen to this. This
perfect gibberish jam.
Yes.
And much like how Rosie and Gray would end a good Lois at a Low concert, this song would end a good Pearl Jam concert.
Almost all.
I love Ed Vedder. I fucking love Ed Vedder, but I can do that.
Yeah. A gibberish jam?
Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a gibberish jam.
Yeah, so,
but I know what it's related to.
No, so story goes that this was actually recorded during the 10, and it didn't make the album.
Amazing.
Eddie Vedder basically improvised the lyrics.
That's so cool.
And this, apparently the one that we hear, this was done in one take, and it was the second take. Wow. And it's just him doing, and every time you see them, me seeing them like about 40 times, I would say, of the 40 shows I've seen, 35 have closed with Yellow Ledbetter. They close with this song.
Yeah.
And
is it different every time?
Different every time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he'll be like, over there's a guy with a t-shirt.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Just like, and so
Rob,
it is.
You've never seen Pearl Jam.
Never seen him live.
Never.
You got to fucking do that, man. We should all go.
We should. Yeah, there's all kinds of rumors going on about a tour coming up.
It's a rare band that we loved in the early 90s with the entire band still, although the drummer changed.
The drummer's changed several times, but Matt Cameron's been there since like 2000.
Yeah. So other than the drummer, though, you've got all the founding members intact.
True. Wow.
It's pretty rare.
So,
That's so cool.
I was thinking afterwards, like, I really should have figured out a way to get this in there. And so I texted Mike this morning. I said, we should do Ledbetter if you're not.
Wow.
You know.
And also, there's a story I'm going to pull out of Bob right now. I'm going to quickly jump into the live stream to say there's a lot of examples of modern artists introducing the legacy artists. Like the KLF brought us Tammy Wynette.
Yeah, all right.
Great example.
Yeah.
I remember now Lady Gaga telling the kids about Tony Bennett. Okay. Jack White and Wanda Jackson. Anyway,
Concan did one as well, but they're Rose Garden. Con.
Who do they bring in? Because I have Concan on the show in January.
What's her name? Lynn Anderson. I've never promised you a Rose Garden.
Oh,
right. Well, that is the hook. Yeah, okay. So good. Barry Harris is his name.
Barry Harris
is on the show in January.
Can't wait. I have questions for him.
And that's because Mark Nathan came on, and then I booked both Barry Harris, who is Concan, and Maren Cadell.
Nice.
Booked on Toronto Might.
Beautiful. I saw that.
Amazing. Okay.
The sweater. Awesome.
Tell us, Bob.
So, yes.
Yes.
You love Pearl Jam. You seen him 40 plus times?
Yeah, about 40 times.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
I've seen him 12 times. And I
Have
think
you
that's
really?
A lot. Yeah.
Oh
but
my God.
can't touch Bob on this. But I only ever, the furthest I went was Barrie. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I've seen them, in
Rome.
in Rome and Vancouver.
Which is further than Barrie, right?
Yes, a little bit. Not much, though.
What happened with you and Pearl Jam since you were last on Toast?
So I have a Sirius XM radio in my car, and on channel 22.
La-di-da.
On channel 20. The only reason I keep it is because of channel 22, which is Pearl Jam Radio. And they have a weekly feature called Wish List, which is the name of one of their songs. And basically, you can email them your selection of 5 songs as a fan of the band, and you get to host a half-an-hour show on
Pearl Jam Radio.
Pearl Jam Radio.
So cool.
So I did this ages ago. I put it together, and I had a little story for each song, and I was very selective. I didn't necessarily pick my 5 favorite songs, but I know how they don't want to hear the same 5 songs all the time. So I went and I picked 5. You can pick, and their entire catalog, they're all their bootlegs, like every show they have. They literally have a recording of every show they've ever done.
Amazing.
So every show I've seen.
Yep.
So I have memories from each shows. So
And you can listen to that show.
So I created a show. I finally got an email back. They're like, "Hey, we like your list. Here's the cue sheet. Send us back you introing the songs."
Yeah.
And this aired last week.
Amazing.
It'll be it aired
So
last
your
week.
voice
available?
was on Sirius XM
Yes.
last week.
Yes.
You could hear
3
Bob
times.
for like a half an hour,
Yep.
3 times.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was fun, and I recorded one of the times, obviously. So I'm going to put it on the Bob's Basement podcast and hope it doesn't get taken down.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did chat about
Yeah,
it. Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
give it a go. Well, this won't be taken down. So although I did have an episode taken down.
Heard you had that happen. That's the weirdest thing.
Episode before this one was taken down because I think I fucked with the ratio. Like a lot of this you find out. I'll say this as a 11 plus years doing 1,400 episodes almost. Okay. Most of this is trial and error. Like you got to try something and see what happens and then you react to that or whatever. So I think there's a ratio of music to talk, like original content, I'll call it. So unlicensed music to original content, there's like the algorithm, there's a ratio.
Right.
And I think I had too much unlicensed music. To original content in the previous episode of Toronto Mike. But the only platform, like Apple, it's on Apple right now.
Still, yeah. Who took it down?
Spotify.
Spotify took it down.
But Spotify is the most, I could tell you that I would have guessed it would be Spotify. They're the most in bed with the labels, I think, of all of them for some reason. So, okay. So if you were a Spotify Toronto Mike listener, you would say, hey, Mike, this is not $13.99. The last episode was $13.97. Well, I would say to you, there's a $13.98 available everywhere except Spotify, because I kicked out Christmas songs by FOTMs.
Oh,
so it's like 10 songs, and I don't just play them. I do talk about them, but I don't talk enough about them. So I think I fucked with the ratio. Is what happened.
Well, then mine will be taken down from Spotify for sure, because this is
But do it until it does.
Yeah, I will. I'm probably put it up. tomorrow.
Well, I would say go, because you're talking. Talking on Sirius XM is going to be deemed by the algorithm as original content.
Yes, yeah,
okay?
for sure.
So I think you'll be
We'll
okay.
see.
But
I'll
find
put it up.
out.
We'll
Let me
see.
know.
Yeah.
See what Spotify does to you. Okay, maybe they just don't like me.
Anyways,
quick thing about the official bootlegs, we'll call them, of Pearl Jam, because I'm also longtime huge Pearl Jam fan, and when I would see a concert, I was very excited to buy the official bootleg. But I'm here to tell you, I was at a show. I think it was at the Air Canada Centre, and Eddie did this bit where he played "I Got Id," and then he took out his guitar and said, "It's really just Cinnamon Girl."
Yeah.
And he plays Cinnamon Girl.
Really?
Yeah.
But that part was removed from the I'm pretty sure. My memory is I bought the CD and that part was gone where he plays and you might say I'm wrong if you can remember it in your mind's eye listening to the official bootleg. I don't think the playing and talking about how I Got It is a ripoff of Cinnamon Girl. I don't think that makes the bootleg. The official bootleg.
I'm gonna call bullshit.
Okay, call bullshit. Oh, call, you know
Because
what? Don't fucking call Robert Lawson.
No, I'm gonna call bullshit on that because I've heard them play that on Sirius XM radio.
Okay, well, do you own this CD?
I do.
So
Of course I do.
This is something we should be able to prove very easily.
All right, yeah.
I will also do some homework, and we'll bring it to the next
sounds
host,
good.
whether Robert Lawson needs to get involved or not.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have a weird memory. That's all.
No, that's my memory at the time, and then I don't ever think about it again until something triggers it like this, and then I pull up that memory, and then we find out whether I was wrong or not, because I remember playing the CD, and I remember thinking, oh, it doesn't have the Neil Young Cinnamon Girl part. They exercised? What do you get extracted?
Excised.
The excise. Thank you for excising that. Okay. Shout out to the Advantaged Investor podcast. I know Rob is swimming in royalties from romantic traffic. Okay, and you need to invest wisely. Listen to the Advantaged Investor podcast from Raymond James Canada, hosted by FOTM Chris Cooksey. My problem is, I'll talk very openly and honestly about sales at Toronto Mike. Numbers have never been higher, listenership's never been higher, engagement's never been higher. But I had two sponsors that bought, one bought 4 months and one bought 3 months, but both expired at the same day, which is December 31st. And I got sick and then I got busy and I haven't replaced them. So I realized there's a huge sales opportunity for Hebsy's return. Mark Hebsher returns on January 2nd in the studio. Nice. We're going to talk about how he dumped me, what life is like. We're going to talk about all the Blue Jay shit, Shohei Ohtani. Mark Hebsher, January 2, 2024. There's room for a new sponsor of Toronto Mike. So send me a note, mike@torontomike.com. Do it now. You guys ready for my first gibberish?
Let's hear it.
Get it.
And that Pearl Jam story is the best thing you're going to hear today. I have never been heard on Sirius XM, but I can tell you, FOTM, Bob, who's the TSN guy?
Bob.
Why is it not in my head?
No,
Too much Pearl Jam.
Bob McKenzie.
McKenzie. I was going to say Nicholson. No,
Bob McKenzie.
I was picturing his son for a moment.
I was picturing his brother Doug.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So Bob McKenzie has been on the Howard Stern after show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like that's a fact. I know we talked about it when he came over the first time. So there's another FOTM there. Okay, who's been on Sirius?
There you go. 2 Sirius XM.
I don't know if it was worth it. I can't believe the name Bob. And the thing is, I'm watching I watched the World Junior yesterday. I saw Bob McKenzie. I mean, what the fuck's going on here? Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
My first gibberish jam. Don't worry, I won't play the whole thing. Should I play the whole thing?
Now,
Bob's ready to pounce.
No?
He can taste the blood in the water, everybody.
Don't you know that I'm loving you? In a Galata Vida, baby. Don't you know that I'll always be true? Oh, won't you come with me?
I see where Eddie Vedder got it from. He's got it.
There you go.
Right.
Come with me and I'll walk this line.
Rob, when the live jocks on Big FM in Kingston have to take a pee,
Christ, yeah.
or if they ate some bad food the previous night,
Play this.
they stick on into Gata de Vida. Am I right, Bob?
No, you're not. This is not on our playlist. Thank you.
That was the good old days, the WKRP days. I need 15 minutes. There's a groupie
The longest
here.
song we play is probably, what's the Zeppelin one?
I was going to guess Bohemian Rhapsody.
No, Zeppelin.
Stairway to Heaven.
The heavier one.
Dire Maker. I don't know.
Oh, not,
I can't remember.
Jermaker.
no, it's not. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'll tell you. It's the one that Puffy sampled.
Oh, yeah, the one from Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on the same page now. Obviously, we're big Zeppelin fans.
Yeah, exactly.
He's more of an Elton John fan.
I'm a bigger Zeppelin fan than I am an April Wine fan. I can tell you that right now. So, and I'm not much of a
April,
and I'm not much of a Led Zeppelin fan.
Listen, Bob, you were born in the fucking 70s.
Yeah, I was.
The heyday for April Wine is like 71 to 80 or 1 or something. You would you would completely miss April Wine.
Yeah, and also I'm from Toronto. They didn't play here every 6 minutes.
That's true.
The way they did.
A lot of people your age, not your age, actually, not your age at all.
My age.
There's a lot of people of a certain age that saw April Wine play their high school gymnasium.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, absolutely.
And they might have seen Max Webster too.
For sure.
We were
Maybe Rush.
We played the shit out of the high schools in Southern Ontario with
That
spoons.
was a thing. Yeah.
We were, and I feel
How
like
come that stopped?
I was going to say, I feel like we were like near the end of the era,
Yeah.
getting into the mid to the late 80s. It just stopped. I don't know. Weird.
High schools didn't have money to pay people.
I guess.
Yeah, it's
How
gotta
much
be
money would it cost to get an up-and-coming spoons to play your
No
Back in the day, you
idea,
don't even
actually.
know.
I paid no attention to that shit. Like, I don't know.
Did you
But
get? Did they piece you off because you were not a founder? Like,
I was a founder. I was.
You were a founder.
I mean,
though you're not the original keyboardist.
Yeah, because
so that means you're not a founder.
No, but there was a dude in the band.
You know what founder means?
Yeah, but I was on the first album.
Ah, there you go.
And from then on, so founder.
That's like saying the guy who played the sax in
like
Tragically Hip is a founding member.
Well, no, it would be like saying.
You know who that guy is?
It would be like saying Pete Best.
I was going to say Pete Best, exactly, right.
So he was a founding member.
He was a founding member, so I was not a founding member. Right. But I have no idea how much.
It's like Nirvana had the guy before Dave Grohl.
That's right.
Oh, that's guy. Yeah, but that guy was on Bleach, wasn't he?
And there
he was on an album.
There was a drummer in Rush before.
All right. Don't get angry at me. I'm scared of you guys. Okay. So,
all right.
The good thing about this song is
Butterfly.
there's a lot of time for me to talk about it. Right. I'll get to that.
That's right. How long is this song?
You're going to do that bit, right? You're going to play that, right? Okay.
It's over 17 minutes.
Is it really?
So here's the deal, everybody. And I think anyone who listened to listen to Q107 back in the day, maybe Psychedelic Sunday, you're well versed. And again, I'll play how a lot of younger people know.
Yes.
See, my daughter knows Inagata Davida, okay? And she's 7 years old. So, okay. Inagata Davida. And again, you guys can argue. I deem that as a gibberish statement, even though it's derived from a real statement, obviously, which we'll talk about when I play the bonus clip. Well, we can talk about it. I'm all about talking about it, okay. This is written by Doug Ingle from Iron Butterfly, and it is on their 1968 album of the same name, Inagata Davida. It occupies the entire second side of the album.
Wow.
Rob, you're more of a vinyl. I know that Bob's got his fair share of vinyl, but can you think of any other album, a full LP, where one song occupies the entire side?
Not really at all. Like I had a Yes album when I was a kid, and I think there were like maybe 2 songs or 3 songs on a side, but not one.
I think The End by the Doors might have like there might be only 2 on the others on that.
Yeah.
And that's also a screen enhanced jam because I love that song because of Apocalypse Now.
Right.
There's a single version of Inagata Davida, which is only 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Can you believe it? They released a 45 version of this song.
Can you imagine? You can cut out 7 minutes. Just go ahead. It's fine. Whatever.
Chop.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's this, well, we'll get to it, but there's a 2.5 minute drum solo in this song by Ron Bushy.
Wow.
Okay. The 252 version of this song actually reached the top 40. It went to number 30. It is the only, as you can imagine, it is the only Iron Butterfly song to reach the top 40.
Wow.
But the album hit number 4 and sold. You guys ready for this? So we were here. Some guy named Chris Murphy was here with Stephen Page, and we were chatting. And somebody in the live chat actually wanted to know how many copies of that yellow tape did B&L sell?
Yeah.
I bought 2 copies of it. Bob, did you buy a copy of the yellow tape? You didn't?
No.
How come?
Well, because let's see, the yellow tape's 88, 89.
89, 90? I got to check it out.
Well, because the Gordon comes at 91.
91.
Yeah.
Right.
Gordon's 91. So in 88, I'm only 12.
Okay.
So I didn't buy tapes then yet. That's not true. I bought my first 45 with Platinum Blonde, Crying Over You in 1986.
Nice.
That was my first 45. But yeah, so the yellow tape didn't become part of my life. I didn't know Bare Naked Ladies, even though I grew up in East Toronto.
Were you listening to 102.1?
No, I was not.
That's why.
That's why.
Where else would you hear
I was not. I was a top 40 kid. I used to listen to 680 or Magic 102.5 out of Buffalo. Wow. With Sandy Beach in the morning, or
not their real name,
or do you think?
What if I told you? What if I told you this yellow tape came out in 1991?
No, that's not true.
Is that not true?
The yellow tape didn't come out in 91 because that's when Gordon came. Well, Gordon came out maybe 92 actually. Is this the drum solo?
Yeah.
We should listen to this.
This is Bushy.
I want candy.
Totally.
I want candy.
Adam and the Ants.
I believe it was recorded in 1991 at Wellesley Sound by Walter Sobek, however you say his name. And I think that it comes out in 1991. I think the yellow tape is 91. How old are you, Bob, in 1991?
So I'm 15.
That's prime. Buy a fucking yellow tape at the.
I bought Gordon when I was 16.
Okay, I will tell you the length of the yellow tape is it's shorter than Inagata Davida. It is only 16:59.
What's on it? McDonald's Girl?
No, that's not on it.
Oh,
no. If I had $1 million, Be My Yoko Ono, Brian Wilson, Blame It on Me. If I had $1 million in the Fight the Power cover.
I love Blame It on Me. Wow.
But the Fight the Power cover is only 1 minute and 33 seconds. Okay, so I have many things I want to say here. But I'm mesmerized by the drum solo here by Ron Bushy.
I also think that this is not a Jibberish jam.
Okay, when I'm done, you can do that.
Yeah,
part,
okay, go
it's
ahead.
17 minutes. Okay,
All right, come on, let's get going. Jesus, man.
I'm pacing myself because I don't like truncating these jams if I don't have to. I'm trying to go 17 minutes with my fun facts here.
Wow.
Okay, so
How many copies?
there's a film of, you might know the film Manhunter from 1986. They have an 8-minute 20-second edit of this song
In the film?
Yeah,
Wow.
in the film on the soundtrack too. And it was named, VH1 named this song In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida as the 24th greatest hard rock song of all time.
Wow.
And it has influenced much songs. So this drum solo, I have a fun fact. I have 2 fun facts. Where will I begin? Let me start with this. So we're listening to the Ron Bushy drum solo, right?
Yeah.
You soaking it in?
We've been singing along to it.
Yeah.
You weren't even paying attention.
Okay, so I brought it down. I'm not going to do all in fact, I realized I emailed myself the file, so I'm just going to grab it
I
very
heard a song in the
quickly.
beginning of that I realized it was sort of influenced by. It's and if you listen in the opening, it sounds like Cream, Sunshine of Your Love.
Oh, for sure.
I never really thought of it before.
Yeah.
I don't
Because
know
what
why.
year would Cream have done?
67. So a year before this.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
You know this song?
Heard it.
Okay. Okay, this is by far the longest drum solo Ringo Starr ever did with the Beatles.
Yeah. There it was.
Wow.
That drum solo on the end from Abbey Road was inspired by Ron Bushy's drum solo
I hear it.
in In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
For sure it was.
And this is the last song. The end happens to be the last song recorded collectively by all 4 members of
Crazy.
the Beatles.
Really?
This is it, the last song they recorded. So this, it pops on to Abbey Road, which was released after they broke up there. And you don't know. How about this? No Ron Bushy In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida drum solo. No Ringo Starr drum solo on the
That's right.
end. Okay, and then it's not even the. That's not even the.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Hymns here. I got hymns here. Get 'em while they're holy, fresh from God's brain to your mouth.
And now, please rise for our opening hymn, In the Garden of Eden by I, Ron Butterfly.
In the Garden of Eden, honey, don't you know that I love you? In the Garden of Eden, baby, don't you know that I'll always be true?
Hey, Marge, remember when we used to make out to this hymn?
Wait a minute, this sounds like rock and or roll.
Great lines in this episode. So quotable.
Bart Soul. Name of the episode, right?
I know one of you is responsible for this, so repeat after me. If I withhold the truth, may I go straight to hell, where I will eat naught but burning hot coals and drink naught but burning hot cola.
Where fiery demons will punch me in the back. Where my soul will be chopped into confetti and strewn upon a parade of murderers and single mothers. Where my tongue will be torn out by ravenous birds. Bart did it! That part right there! Millhouse!
Millhouse, you did the right thing. Bart, come with me for punishment. You too, Snitchy. I want you to clean every one of these organ pipes that you have befouled with your popular music.
Okay, that's a 1995 episode of The Simpsons.
Which
Bart
episode is
sells
that?
his soul.
Bart sells his soul, yeah.
Yeah, and so now Bob can do it because, of course, the sheet music is called "In the Garden of Eden."
Yes.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida is like a drunken take on that sentence. So I will speak myself, and then Bob's going to reply. I deem Inagata Davida as gibberish, even though it's based on non-gibberish, which is in the Garden of Eden. But this is in Inagata Davida. Go ahead, Bob.
You're full of shit.
Inagata Davida.
You get on me all the time.
Go fuck yourself,
So
Bob Willette.
in the Garden of Eden is the name of the song. I remember when I was a kid, my dad told me they couldn't call it In the Garden of Eden. Nobody in radio would have played it.
So they called it Inagata
So they called it Inagata Davida, so that's how they got away with it.
That's not confirmed. Your dad might have heard that.
Are you
the
besmirching my dead father? No, I'm kidding.
Do they?
All right, hold
does
on
he
here.
actually sing In the Garden of Eden?
No,
or
he
only
says
In the Garden of
it
Eden?
sounds like
I
In the
just
Garden of
played it.
Eden.
You want me to play 17
No.
minutes of it again? He says Inagata Davida, which is gibberish.
No, it's not a gibberish song.
I think it's more gibberish because he doesn't actually say Inda. He says Inna.
I like
Inagata Davida.
So I was gonna say if Rob's gonna play like right down the middle, sit on the fence like he always does with
Yeah,
us.
he does
but
do
he's
that,
not.
doesn't
But
he?
he's not with you. He's taking your side.
No, it's about time
he
you
just said
grew a
Inna.
backbone.
Yeah.
Listen. I think it's Inagata.
Yeah, so he's taking your side. So he's taking your
There's no
side.
debate here. It's Inagata Davida.
Yeah, but by the 17th minute, it's not.
It's not in
It
the
changes.
Garden of Eden.
It is.
You want me to
by the
skip
16th
ahead?
or 17th. Well, like I don't know. Get to the part where he's singing at least.
All right. Well, after the drum solo, I'm skipping ahead.
All right. Oh, have you ever played a big church organ? How was that?
Weird.
Yeah?
Like super cool.
Yeah?
I don't know enough about it to like
Because there's
do
the feet and everything.
There's
and
feet and there's levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah?
It's amazing.
I
But
bet. Must feel crazy.
I'm not trained enough to like do
That's
it.
probably not
but-
true. You just need some time on it.
Well,
probably.
there's ways to like study like different levels of like
Oh, really?
each individual
Is it
part.
written different, obviously, as well?
uh-huh.
Like, yeah.
Writing for your feet and all that shit.
Wow, crazy.
Oh yeah, there's that
There's
Ringo,
Ringo
Star
again.
fucking
There it is.
that Ringo.
Ringo's sitting in with Iron Butterfly.
Oh. Little bass
solo.
Little bass solo too? Why not, right? You got 17 minutes. Might as well do a bass solo. All right, don't worry about it. Fine, you're right. I'm wrong.
Well, there's no wrong or right. It's an opinion.
I don't think it's a gibberish
I am
song.
saying.
I think you wasted 17
I
minutes
am
of our
saying-
lives here. This
Well,
is not
we didn't play it all. Inagata Davida, I deem a gibberish jam.
That's fine. It's your show.
You think your brain is translating into In the Garden of Eden, which
yeah.
is the inspiration
Right.
for the gibberish.
And then-
but
but
Inagata Davida is not in the Garden of Eden. These are
but
two different sentences.
No, it is. But here's the problem. They only did that to get it on the radio, man.
I never knew that.
I don't think
Actually,
that's.
I've been
I don't
told that.
actually. I will say I did a lot of because it's my jam. I did some homework. And
Yeah,
I did
yeah, you
some
went on
digging,
Wikipedia.
and,
Go ahead.
Well,
Yep.
beyond Wikipedia, to be quite honest with you, and I did not find.
You didn't find that
that's
anywhere.
not confirmed.
Nobody. You know
anywhere,
what? Get one
so.
of them on the show. Are anybody alive? You should get them on the show.
There is a story about singing in the Garden of Eden in a drunken state, and it comes out like Inagata Davida, and that
Okay.
sticks.
So,
there's that
all
story
right.
because they used to long before they recorded that song.
Yes.
They would play it in concert,
Right.
and it would often last 20, 30 minutes. Like that's one of those.
Really?
Oh, you see Pearl Jam a lot, like in the middle of.
In the middle of
Even
even
Flow or
flow, Eddie
whatever.
goes for a smoke.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's a long jam in there, and
Yes,
it can
yeah.
go a long time, and they embed other songs in there, and there's a whole. whack
Does
of,
intention play? Is my question. Does intention change whether it's a gibberish jam?
Well, it's
Because
the
if
words
he's
you
drunk
speak.
and he can't say it,
But yes,
then
okay,
he-
but it's stuck, and that became the new words, Inagata Davida.
I don't know.
I would argue that those aren't English words, Inagata Davida.
No,
and
but he's
therefore
drunk.
that's gibberish.
no, but he's drunk.
He's not.
right.
He's yes. He
You
was,
just said he's drunk. That's how he
yeah.
came up
That's
with it.
inspired the Inagata Davida.
So he's saying in the Garden of Eden, he's just too drunk to say it the right way. So it's not a gibberish song.
okay. Well,
Are there other lyrics in the song?
I respect your right to be wrong.
are the words in the Garden of Eden in the song?
no,
Like,
are there other
lyrics.
words?
Oh.
Is that all he says?
Yeah.
Don't you know that I
Love you.
Right, right. Because I sort of forget all the other lyrics that he's saying anyways.
All right, let's move on. I stand by Inagata Davida as
Good for you.
I stand by. We have a second, believe it or not, we have a second Rob Preuss
Oh,
jam.
jeez.
Here we go.
It's not Elton John.
Bob needs to get the Richmond fucking Hill to see Jackie and Phil.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
Richmond Hill to see Jackie and Phil.
It's there.
You're a poet and you didn't realize it.
Yes.
so we can't just take our time on these. Okay, are you ready, Rob Preuss, for
I'm
your
ready.
second jam?
I'm ready. Play it loud.
There are 11 dashes on this board. I can go to 11.
This might be from the 80s.
No.
No, it's not.
Close.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know this song. Can I fade down now, or am I missing something here?
You just want to play it forever. You know, never want it to end. It doesn't go for 17 minutes, though.
But is that what it does over and over again, or is there more?
That's the whole song.
Okay, because I don't know the song at all.
Do you know the band? Do you know the band?
No,
Gap
what
Band?
is it?
Sounds like Gap Band a little bit. I don't know.
It's Boney M.
Listen a little bit more.
Huh? Well, you know the band. You downloaded it.
I know. I still don't know.
Yeah.
You really don't know?
Well, you gave me the link. I copied it and put it in, and I spit it out.
This is 1979 Talking Heads.
Cool. Oh.
See, I had no idea.
It's from their album Fear of Music. And it's called E Zimbra. And the lyrics are inspired by a gibberish poem from 1916 from a Dada artist named Hugo Ball.
A Dada? Oh, like the
Dada
art
movement.
from the art movement.
From the art movement.
Wow.
So Brian Eno produced this album for Talking Heads, with Talking Heads. Listen to this cool part right here. This keyboard is... It's just so cool. Anyways, this was a song that inspired their next album called Remain in Light.
Right.
Which is like a super influential album which came out in 1980. So
right.
It's on the edge of the 80s, right? Sort of heading towards the 80s. But
I think it's good we added an older person to our crew.
yes,
here,
I'm
so
bringing
it's not
you
all
all
the same shit.
Yes, exactly. Not just Pearl Jam and The Simpsons.
I mean, I brought Cab Calloway to the table.
That's right. You really did.
I did. I went
That's
really
true.
old.
That's true.
That's true.
But yeah, this song I've loved my whole life long. Like when I was a teenager, and like this was just before I joined the Spoon, so I was listening to all the new wave, and I always loved this because I was like, "What? He's not saying anything."
Yeah.
But it's just kind of interesting because it's more about the groove. Jerry Harrison from Talking Heads, he said this is his favorite song.
What was it? Wasn't there a house movement like Jungle? Does it sound a little bit like Jungle?
Oh yeah. This paves the way to everything.
To
that
all
came
those stuff. All
For
that.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep. But Eno was the one who sort of suggested that they like just get all the jams going.
So what's he said? Ha, hoo, ha, hoo.
I wrote it down. Ga, Jibberish, bim, ba, clandridi, lao, li, loni, ka, dori, ga,
I
jam.
think that's Gaelic.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not.
By the way, just before we started recording, when I had the live stream open, I was playing Brian Eno.
Were
I
you?
just want to tell you that.
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Music for airports.
So both of your selections thus far, sir, have no actual lyrics at all.
Nope.
All gibberish.
Yep.
You're taking it to the next level.
Next level.
Yep, next level.
Wait till you hear his third jam.
That's cool.
It's
very
fun.
cool.
Well, yeah. Like you know, I don't know. Like I said before, there might be some songs that get Hansened anyways that we could talk about. Pop songs which use just
Okay, well, there's lots.
I got a few in mind here. What are we looking at here?
Actually, that's the wrong one.
What is that though?
That's an
really
Dream
cool.
something. It says.
Dream
Is that the Dream Warriors?
Dream Warriors.
Dream Theater.
Dream. The Dream Police.
What are you doing? This is great. This is great for the people who are not on the live stream. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go.
I had a method to my madness.
This is for this is my next selection.
Oh.
Not this particular. That's the album before. But here we go.
All right, let's go. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop.
Yeah, shimmy, Cocoa Puffs.
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop.
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop.
We chocolate crossover. Yeah, we chocolate crossover.
Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home.
I'm cocoa and I might go pop. Now it's about time that I clear this. So pardon me, miss, but I'd like for you to hear this. If you kiss me, then I'll kiss you back.
Kiss me.
You see, I feel real good inside, and it's just
Turn my headphones up a little bit.
There's no need for you to fear this. Kiss me, I'll kiss you back.
There we go.
Well, you look kinda cute to me. I think we can achieve this. Plus, you act like you need this. Kiss me and I'll kiss you back. Yeah, real fly. Money, please not buying it. Quit denying it. You're better off trying it. Freak me, girl, and I'll freak you back.
Through any kind of weather, will me and you forever stay together? Well, I just don't know, but I tell you what though, if you kiss me, then I'll kiss you back.
Kiss you back.
And I guess you wanna know if I'm gonna be around. I ain't sure, but I tell you what I do know. If you kiss me, then I'll kiss you back.
Kiss you back.
Alright, let's do this. If you kiss me, then I'll kiss you back.
Yeah.
Kiss me and I'll kiss you back. If you kiss me.
And you greeted Rob Preuss with those exact words today. If you kiss me, then I'll kiss you back.
It's true. Right. That would be our.
Because you needed consent.
You gotta. That's right. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. This is from the second full album, I think, or at least the follow-up to Sex Packets. This is Digital Underground.
Nice.
Excuse me, trooper. Will you be needing any packets today?
No, I'll be. Don't
go pulling
on my jacket, okay? Yeah,
cool.
sorry.
Just trying to get your attention so you could take a look at this invention.
chemically. Yeah.
What year is this from?
1991.
Wow.
So this is the follow-up. So the first album is the one that has Humpty Dance. Humpty Dance. So this is Shock G. The guy's name was Greg Jacobs, the guy who was and this album, Sons of the P, did not have the commercial successes as Digital Under as the first one with Humpty Dance on it. But however, this
and I always like Do What You Like too.
Kiss You Back was a hit. It was a single. Did
this was a single.
Chart.
This was a Much Music jam.
Kiss You Back and No Nose Job was the other one, which is a really weird one. These guys have some really weird stuff. So
but remember, Humpty had the big nose.
That's right. So he didn't want to get a nose job. This particular, the Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Pop, was kind of when we started thinking about these jams. This came to my head. Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Pop.
Well, you were my guest when Shock G passed away, and we were paying respect.
Yes.
You came on to Pandemic Friday. I believe.
That's right. It was a Pandemic Friday.
To talk about, we both love that Sex Packet.
Sex Packet album is amazing. Danger Zone and Gutfest. They were also, they probably had one of the best lyrics on that West Coast Rap All Stars jam, the 9-minute version of We're All in the Same Gang.
Do you remember? Do you want to drop it? You remember?
I could. Hang on. How does it start? I can't do it with the lyrics going right now.
All right. It'll come to you.
It will. Yeah.
When you're inspired.
Yes.
This reminds me a little bit of De La Soul.
So same
like influence, right?
Very influenced by De La Soul.
Or did this influence De La Soul?
No, De La Soul would have been. Like they're East Coasters, right? Like they're. I think and.
I realize Rob does not know. We could blow his mind with the obvious stuff.
Yeah, you can.
Do you know what famous rapper got his start in Digital Underground?
Oh, right. Nope. Tupac.
Really?
Tupac was in the Digital Underground, yeah.
Really?
When I clown around with the underground. Girls usually frown, see me down when I come around. That's pretty much Tupac. That was the same song, which is that
Same
awful
song, which is
movie,
that
with
movie
Dan
with Dan
Aykroyd
Aykroyd,
and
yes.
Demi Moore.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
So
Terrible.
this particular song, let's see, where did Kiss You Back made it top 40, number 40 in the Billboard Hot 100, and number 5. So Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Pop, also in the 90s would have got, or early 2000s. Here's something where you might have heard it. If we got the first of the.
I might have them in the wrong order because you said early 90s. I'm going to have to play diff because I have two bonus jams.
So one is from like the 30s.
Okay, I'll do that last.
Yeah, do that one last, and then
okay, I'll start this up and then I'll bring this one out.
Here we go. Turn.
By far the best Nelly song.
I don't know.
I think so.
I like Ride With Me.
I'll take this one. This one's dirtier. It's got a little more. Okay, so there is a question in the chat for you. So this is, that's Nelly, a big hit, Country Grammar.
Nelly, yeah. So it's from Country Grammar. He's a St. Louis rapper.
Super. No, I know Nelly, but I didn't know this song. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
So Mark is asking a question. I think this will lead brilliantly into your other bonus jam. He's wondering aloud, does Bob know this Shimmy Shimmy isn't from Digital Underground? Did you know that, Bob?
Did I know that? I don't know. Let's listen to my other bonus track. Nice job, DJ. Here we go.
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy, pop. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy, pop. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop, shimmy, shimmy, pop. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop.
This is what made you think of this Jibberish Jams last time.
Yes.
I played a song that referenced this in a lyric.
Yes.
That song, Life is a Rock, and it lists all the pop music. It said Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Pop.
Right, and then I played the Humble Howard version.
Yes, that's right.
So this is Little Anthony and the Imperials from 1959.
Amazing.
Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Bop is the first popular culture reference that I can find. If there's something more,
what year?
59.
Wow.
It says so.
Well, knowing Mark Weisblot, he was only a teenager in '59.
That's
so
true.
He
That's
might not
true.
know before that.
So I don't know.
He's an older soul.
There, obviously, I can still. What was the John Goodman and movie with
Babe?
Babe, Pig in the City?
No, John.
Babe Ruth
I know
story.
the other Babe.
No, the pilot is an alcoholic, and they need to sober him up. It's Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And there's
I love that movie.
Yeah, and in that movie, he says, Cocoa Puffs.
Right.
Cocoa Puffs.
Oh,
we need
funny.
some Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
And it's basically a cigarette that is laced with cocaine.
So no relation to the popular cereal Cocoa Puffs.
Not, well, and
Cocoa
this
for
is...
Cocoa Puffs.
Yes.
Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Puffs.
That's right. Yeah. So, anyways, let's see. There's 3 references to Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Pop or Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Puff. I don't know what the original one means.
All right, there's a quote in the chat here. Okay, so Mark Weisblot, and then he's quoting something, so he's just copying and pasting. Okay.
Okay.
This is based on a song called "Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Wop," which was released by a Pittsburgh group called the El Capris in 1956.
Okay, all right.
That
So he's got
song
before
was
me.
written by group members James Scott, not
Okay.
Baby Scott, from CFNY.
Okay.
James Ward. And Leon Gray.
All right.
It takes place on an island and has a Polynesian rhythm. So,
Well, there you go. Is this Weisblot?
and Moose Grumpy wants you to know this song. That was Weisblot that copied and pasted that. But so shout out to Robert Lawson. And Moose Grumpy says that song was also in the movie Big.
Yes.
Which I'm here to tell. So Big,
Yes.
the female lead in Big is by Elizabeth Perkins. Okay, you know
Yes.
this actress.
Yes.
I grew up with the original Miracle on 34th Street, but we were looking for a movie on Christmas Eve with the 2 little ones, and I said, "Oh, I've never seen the 1990
remake. Yeah.
remake. Mara Wilson's in this thing." Okay, so we put on the Miracle on 34th Street remake. Elizabeth Perkins is the female lead in that movie. And then
how
I
was
said,
it?
"Oh, can I tell you something? It was fine. It
Yeah.
was actually an enjoyable view. But because I was familiar with the original, I was shocked at how they changed the twist in the courtroom.
Yeah, it's not the male thing.
It's nothing to do with the post office.
No.
And that was my favorite part of the fucking original movie was
When they
the
came
post
in with all
office,
this.
and they're hauling in all the bags of mail, which the Simpsons do a great parody of, by the way. Shout out to the Simpsons. But no, the twist in the courtroom in the remake has nothing to do with the post office.
Yes.
And I was like, I had to tell the kids, and then I told the kids the original ending, and then because they don't really, this in God
They don't
we
even
trust
know what
thing.
male is.
But everybody agreed. At least they agreed with me because I was into that the original twist was better than the new twist. But it was an enjoyable. That Mara Wilson at the time, like that was her imperial period, much like your Elton John in the 70s. Mara Wilson could do no wrong at that time, and she was great in this film. So.
There you go.
Okay, that's my another movie review.
Yeah.
Canada Kev says, like many hits of this era aimed at teenager, it's about a dance. The Cocoa Bop. The third verse contains specific instructions. Left foot forward, right one back. Bring them side by side. Syncopate your last 2 steps. Now you're gonna glide.
Like the
I almost
There
sang
you go.
that.
The
Beautiful.
do-si-do.
Oh, yeah, I love the conversations
Yeah, great.
inspired by this. Good job.
Thanks for doing
And
content for us. I like it.
Yeah, you
I like it when the audience brings the content.
Well, that's the whole idea, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why we invented the live stream. Okay.
There you go.
So you had a rap song as your second jam. I know, Rob. What is your thought on rap?
Rap in general?
Yeah, like do you ever purposefully play
Oh,
a rap song?
Have you ever?
No.
No, you've never.
If you encounter it in the wild, like, do you enjoy it sometimes?
Sometimes. I'm not a big fan of the lyrical content.
Yeah, fair enough.
As soon as
Were
I
you offended by the lyrical content of Digital Underground?
No, not at all.
Digital Underground was fine. They were
Yeah,
dropping
no.
the N-bomb in Nellie's song.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But it's newer stuff that I'm.
But Nelly is black.
Yeah, no, I know. But I can feel uncomfortable hearing it.
I liked early like Sugar Hill Records kind of stuff. Like
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
old school though, right? Like I remember when White Lines was a new song, and
Yes.
it's and
Okay,
like
what about
that
Run
era.
DMC? Like, were you?
Sure, I like them.
Okay,
I like-
you were rocking the Adidas.
Yeah, I wasn't really.
I'm rocking
not.
the Adidas right now.
But
Yeah.
I like it up to a certain point, and I love a lot of the production techniques and stuff. But I'm never a fan of the lyrics. Unfortunately.
Okay, well, you might. There's some gibberish lyrics in this one you might dig. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
I want your review of this one.
love it already.
I kick some flavor like Stephen King writes horror. If I was a Jew, then I'd light a menorah. I got rhymes for ya. Excuse me, senora.
Are you a whore? Are you a lady?
Is it Erica Boyer or Marsha Brady? Let me know, hun. The deed'll get done. Just listen the position. I'll take my rod and then I'll go fishing. I'll get your river flowing. I'm always in the know when it comes to giving pleasure. I'm every woman's treasure. I came to work your body, so let me do my job. I've never been laid off. My rhyming skill paid off. Cause now I'm making records. Now I'm making tapes. Steady busting suckers in bunches like grapes. Making all the papes. Scooping up the loot. Putting suckers on the run. Pull my gun and then I shoot. I never been a front. I never been a fraud. I got a natural skill. For that I thank the Lord. Cause I feel blessed. I'm casually dressed. I always got my gun, but I never wear a vest. I'm quick on the draw, like a horse named McGraw from the cartoon. Boom, shalak, lock, boom, shalak, lock, boom. All right now, boom, shalak, lock, boom. A little loud, boom, shalak, lock, boom. Everybody, boom, shalak, lock, boom. All right now, break up, break up.
Okay, we just talked about Mara Wilson. This just occurred to me listening to this song. Mara Wilson had her imperial period, okay? She could do no wrong, right? One of those movies was a Robin Williams gem called Mrs. Doubtfire. Right. I took my grandmother to that. That's the only movie in my life I took my grandmother to see. At the Humber Cinema, I took her to see that, Mrs. Doubtfire. Wow. There you go. That movie opens with House of Pain.
Jump around.
Do you remember?
I don't
remember that
you
at all.
You haven't revisited it with your kids?
No, I haven't seen it.
It opens with a big party because he's like an irresponsible,
that's right.
adult. And there's a huge party. There's farm animals. It's a huge party. And it's a censored version because they skip a problematic verse, I remember, in the Smack in the Hoe.
Oh, yes.
There's a Smack in the Hoe reference.
Funny.
And that didn't make the Mrs. Doubtfire version. Like they edited it out or something
so
like that.
this is House of Pain.
Okay, this is House of Pain.
Yes.
Okay. This is from the same album that had Jump Around, which was a massive fucking hit.
It was.
Do you remember when Jump Around
Yep.
hit?
Yep.
I remember I was working at McDonald's. It was like that was it. So
you were working at McDonald's.
I was
at
working
that
at McDonald's when Jump Around broke. Yes, absolutely. 1992, Tommy Boy Records. Oh, we didn't shout out with we didn't shout out with Digital Underground, who I also liked at the time. There was an Attic Records release in this country. I remember it had the Attic Records logo on it. Was the Digital Underground?
Right.
We talk a lot about Attic Records on the show.
Right, yeah.
Shout out to Almer.
Shout out to Almer, who's in a late grade FOTM. Shout out to Ridley Funeral Home.
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys remember the name of this debut album by House of Pain, which had the big hits on it? Fine Malt Lyrics was the name of this album.
Fine Malt Lyrics?
Yeah, Fine
Shamrocks and
Lyrics.
Shenanigans is the name of this? Or is this
this is Shamrocks and Shenanigans.
Right, yeah.
So boom, shalak, like boom. Okay. Fun fact, co-write of this song is a guy who kind of almost sort of was on Toronto Mic, if I can spin it that way, because Stu Stone is friends with DJ Lethal.
Oh.
And during a toast or maybe a Pandemic Friday, DJ Lethal was on the live chat, and we were kind of getting his feedback in real time. So I don't think his voice made the air, but his real-time comments on things absolutely was on Toronto Mic. Cool. DJ Lethal, that close to being an FOTM.
There you go.
Okay, he's a co-writer. DJ Lethal, not his real name. His real name is Leor Demont.
All right.
Okay, Leor Demont, and that's why he changed it. DJ Lethal is a better name for him, I think, in that industry. Okay, so I have not much of a mind blow, but we have a Nirvana fan in this room besides myself. So
you too, Bob?
I like Nirvana. Yeah.
I think Bob is a Nirvana fan.
Flavor like Stephen King writes horror.
So I remember at the time I had the single, and it had all these remixes on it, and I actually gravitated towards this remix of Shamrocks and Shenanigans, Boom Shalak Lock Boom (parentheses Jam), because do you know whose remix this was? Any guess? You want to guess? I gave you a hint by mentioning.
Is it Butch Vig?
Butch Vig.
Yeah.
Wow. This is the Butch Vig remix.
It's cool. The guitars are really cool. So
now was Was House of Pain featured on that Judgment Night soundtrack?
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Judgment Night was the one of the first rock rap hybrid. I mean, obviously, Walk This Way, obviously.
Walk This Way, obviously.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And there was a
Walk This Way.
Blondie song called Rapture.
Rapture, but I mean, a real like heavy when you were taking two bands of like and mashing them together. That Judgment Night soundtrack was it, and I remember hearing these guys on there for sure. Can we talk while you're looking that up? Although, like, I don't know if Rob would know.
Just Another Victim with Helmet.
There you go with Helmet. Oh, that's it. The chameleon-like change in Everlast, who of course is the lead rapper on with House of Pain. How many different lives that guy's had? At least
he had a heart attack in his 30s, I want to say.
But I'm talking like kind of sound and image wise.
Yeah. Wow. Whitey Ford Sings the Blues.
Yes,
was in my CD player of my '99 Protege when I rear-ended a pickup truck on the 401.
Right.
With my buddy Mark Carey on the passenger side.
Wow.
Right. So and that Whitey Ford Sings the Blues, massive album with What It's Like. But you know, pre 1992.
Yeah, like a boy band, maybe.
No, he was alone. He was by himself. He did a song called The Rhythm. Really? And it's, you could look it up. It was a huge music hit. He wore a suit, and he had he had his hair all slicked back, and it was like same era as Soul to Soul, Back to Life.
Oh wow!
Same man as The Rhythm, and
that sounds familiar.
Yes,
actually,
and it's called The Rhythm by Everlast.
Everlast.
Okay. Public Enemy, The Rhythm, The Rebel. Without a pause, I'm lowering my level. But that's a big sample right there. Okay, so there's three parts. Then you have that that version.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you have the House of Pain version. Then you have the Whitey Ford Sings the Blues version.
Very interesting guy.
Very interesting. Everlast. Everlast, that's my name. I do remember the follow-up album to Find Malt Lyrics did not do very well at all.
No, you had to be a fan.
You had to be a fan, absolutely.
Whitey Ford Sings the Blues.
Well, but that was later.
That was him alone. Yes, Everlast. Yep.
And there's still songs from Whitey Ford Sing the Blues you'll hear on like a on
What It's Like
radio,
still gets.
And Ends too was a big one.
Yes, both of them they've killed them. They're horrible. It's horrible. Radio's killed those two songs.
Good songs though.
Good songs. Yes.
Good songs. Okay. Although I remember they would censor the word greens, like smoked finest greens, and they would censor it. And I was like, you can't say greens on the radio? That must be an American thing. Okay. All right. Rob Preuss.
Yeah.
Last round.
Final round here.
Who's standing?
Okay. Go ahead.
Did you do song?
Boom, songs like boom.
This is your song? Oh, for God's sake! Why did I think that it was?
I did?
No, it was back-to-back rap.
Shimmy,
I know.
Cocoa
I mean,
Pop?
yes, all rap sounds the same.
It all does all sound the same. No, but I don't remember you specifically saying that this is my.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was.
But I get it.
clear
Was that smooth?
It was really smooth.
I'm pretty fucking smooth. I can't even say the name of this song, and I'm
Don't try
going
to say
kick it here, but I'm going to just tell people, you might have got some electronics for Christmas. Maybe you got a new headphones or new cabling or whatever because you had some. I have a problem with my headphone jack. It kind of doesn't quite go in the phone properly, so it works as a headphones, but it doesn't work as a microphone. It's problematic. I might need to throw that out. I'm not going to throw in the fucking garbage because I'm not an asshole, okay? Those chemicals end up in the landfill. I'm going to recycle my electronics.ca. Where are you going, Rob?
Same place.
What is that place?
RecycleMyElectronics.ca.
Where's Bob Willette going?
RecycleMyElectronics.ca.
You got a good voice, Bob.
Well, thank you.
Have you ever done any voiceover work?
Yeah, like for my radio
I mean,
station.
besides your like...
yeah, I've voiced commercials, yes.
What's the most famous brand you've ever voiced?
I was, there was, I used to do Popeyes supplements.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah, I did Popeyes supplements when I was at when I was at Evanov Radio. I also did Arnt's, the landscaper. And it's not famous. I just loved saying Arnt's. There's a landscape place when I worked out in Durham. Yeah, a bunch of different places I used to do. Yeah.
How does the copyright work? Like, so there's a famous comic strip named Popeye from the 30s, I guess. It goes way back. And then Popeye, the Sailor Man.
Sure.
And then,
Popeye's...
of course, you've got the supplements, which has the face of Popeye, right?
Yeah,
but where does the Louisiana chicken come into play? Like, they can just call themselves Popeyes? Did they have to license that? I know they don't use the cartoon character, but still, there's got to be a trademark infringement there, right? They worked out a deal?
Are you asking Rob and I like we should know the answer?
I don't know. I'm openly
You just make me want to have a Popeyes sandwich now. Those are some pretty damn good sandwiches.
Too many Popeyes. And Popeye Jones.
Cold and answer 9 years old.
What is
You're
it?
the cold maze, say one, freezing cold and answer 9 years old. All right.
might be key to cold. Better stay yet, Miss Joe. When I stay in the shoes now, I'll hold Billy scene in a hurry. Maybe get the color boss dying. When it's the same way, you can't be seen. You know, for some another just got David's a shame. You the cover not choose, not right, but not sure. Hope, but just getting along the cover, no time. Oh, but if it's just stand, light the shoes to go, my man. You would trust to the man, it's called the radio girls. Oh, Sunday.
This is the third song Rob kicked out. I really didn't know it all.
What the hell?
Which I like it. It's deeper cuts. Okay, what am I hearing here? What the hell is this?
I only discovered this song about 15 years ago, and the first time I heard it, I felt instantly in love with it. What the hell is he saying?
It sounds kind of like a New Orleans, kind of like Acadian.
Yeah.
Oh, Cajun.
Cajun, that's it. Thank you.
So this is
And we just talked about New Orleans chicken.
Popeye.
That's right. Shout out to Popeyes.
Louisiana chicken, sorry.
This is more of a shout out to Palma Pasta in a way, because this is an Italian singer named Adrian. What's his last name?
Brody.
No. Wait, I
Adriana from The Sopranos?
No, Adrian. I don't know how to pronounce it. Celentano. Adriano Celentano.
Sounds good.
So.
Also Cynthia Dale's name before she changed it.
That's right. And it's a shout out to Buffy St. Marie as well. Sorry. So this was released
Beverly Santa Maria.
That's right. This was released in 1972. It's an Italian single called Presentcoli Insinanchuso. Complete gibberish.
It's not in Italian.
No, it's in nothing. It's complete gibberish.
Did you run it through the Google Translator?
Doesn't work. So he wrote this song, and he wanted to write a song that's about a lack of communication, and he wanted it to sound like American.
Oh, I know. I've heard this story.
That's what
yes.
This is. So,
okay.
So what this is because it sounds like he's saying shit, right? But he's not saying anything. But he
I heard about this.
Yeah, the way he described it is what it sounds like to people who don't speak English.
Yeah.
What Americans all sound like.
Yes.
Right. So he's sort of got a bit of an American accent as well, but really saying nothing at all. So this was kind of a big hit in Italy in the early 70s, and it actually uses a drum loop as well. It's like one of the earliest songs to like have like a loop drum beat and stuff going on as well, right? Because it wasn't done very often. It's just it sort of became internet famous like in 2009.
Yes.
And I remember reading it on Boing Boing or some website, and I was instantly obsessed with it because it's just such a cool.
Is that Bob Dylan on the harmonica?
I think it
there?
might be. Yeah. Maybe. No, I don't know.
Maybe it's Dylan.
Roberto Diliano.
Exactly. Pure gibberish.
No. Wow.
Rob, I love your deep cuts, bud.
That's really great.
That's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
Presentcoli.
You know what got Hanson today? To bring up one that got Hanson, since we only have a couple more to go here. Louie. Like, this is like Yellow Ledbetter's like predecessor when it came to like gobbledygook sea shanties, right? Like, right? Is that no one knows what the hell he's saying.
I don't know what yours is, but something Italian just came to my mind. Is your last one Italian?
No.
Mana.
I think it's French.
Mana.
No, that's Italian.
That was an Italian song.
It was originally an Italian song.
It's French.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong. It was
Mana.
Yeah, that totally got answered. Yeah, and that was made famous by the very first episode of The Muppet Show.
Of course.
Absolutely. We all know it from The Muppet Show.
But it was an
on Sesame
Italian
Street too.
Yeah, but it was an Italian single.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Okay, good job. Any other things coming to mind that we Hansoned?
But I mean, nobody played the police to do.
Yeah,
we could have done something spoons.
Spoons. I know.
What about Trio?
I almost was going to do that as well.
That was up there for me. I don't know if you Semi-Charmed Life. I don't know if that's a.
Because once you get into the do's
the do's.
Even Hanson themselves. Mbop.
There you go. That's
I know.
Hanson got Hanson.
Hanson, right?
Yeah. There's so many.
Yeah.
It's one of the. I actually don't even remember what my last selection is.
Okay, ready? Let's surprise Bob Willette.
I literally don't remember what it is.
This is for Bob.
Oh, I love this. Oh, yes. Oh, it's a good one.
He knows.
Oh. It's good. Oh, right. Oh, I got to get myself up for this one.
Oh, man.
Oh, what a good song.
really discussed like what is gibberish because boom shalak lock boom, is that gibberish? Like to me,
Shalak's
it's just
not a word.
No, I mean I deemed it gibberish or I wouldn't have kicked it out. But what's the difference between scatting and gibberish? Like the do-do-dos, is that gibberish or is it just like sort of like a scat?
Yeah.
It's a mixture,
Like this is what you're calling gibberish, right? Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
It's gibberish?
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of a scat type thing, like doobity. Oh, she bop, diddy bop. I ain't got no
that's true. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good. But only the David Lee Roth version, because that's what I heard first.
Right.
All right. Annie fucking Lennox is singing.
Annie Lennox.
Hold on. Here it comes.
The more I love you, the language is leaving me. No more I love you.
That little do-do-do, is that you, Rob, on keyboard?
I wish it
Would
was.
that be you? Yeah.
It could be.
It would be you.
It would be.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah.
And then she's got this good old beat that comes in. It's like that early 90s beat, right?
Yeah, this is 95. This comes out.
Dis-moi.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, sorry. Sad. Yep. A little Enigma Max. Yeah, you could do that.
We heard
for
it
sure.
in Haywire with Ken Gordon.
Yeah.
So this actually was one of the things that hit me. I was like, this would be a cool one to bring in. Now you're saying it's not gibberish though.
Well, no, I'm having the conversation. Like there's a scat, right?
Yeah.
Like there's there's a scat thing that
That's
I'm not
gibberish.
sure is it gibberish because so if it's not English words that make sense together.
But that's I think that is, yeah.
And then
I
what's
don't know.
So it's just I didn't think do 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 like there's a there's a whole do do like where that's the lyric.
Yeah. That's Romantic Traffic.
That's
Is it?
Do you
Do you get royalties if I sing it on this program?
No, if you sing enough.
Did I send you a mind blow with this?
Do you get checks for Romantic Traffic? Like, do you get like a SoCan, like, oh, here's your 78 cents?
Yes.
because Bob played
Yeah.
it?
Buys me a couple tanks of gas, but yeah.
Like, can you
Spotify,
how
or
honest can you be?
whatever.
I'm serious. So that's a song like definitely Boom's playing it every day or so.
Yeah.
Right? Romantic Traffic.
Yeah.
How, like, is it really coffee money or?
Well, it's been getting played for nearly 40 years. And it trickles down, of course, as
so
the
what
years go on.
percent do you get? What percent of the whole artist share?
Not a large percent. I mean, Gordon and I co-wrote the song, and he wrote the lyrics, so we share a portion of the music share of the song. It gets all percentages and all that stuff, right? And then there's publishers and things.
But you'll see, like, there'll be an amount in your account, and it'll be like, this is your Romantic Traffic
I think so.
payment.
Yeah, because you get payments like for all the different songs, and it does get pretty specific in the digital world, right? So, but I don't generally look at it too often because I usually
it's
don't
not
care.
a big number.
No, it's
like
not
it
so
doesn't
big.
change anything.
No, not really. It's just cute.
Like you said,
Yeah, it's fun. And I think after 40 years for something I did when I was like 18 years old, I'm like,
is that your most lucrative song?
Yes. There's a Honeymoon Suite song that I co-wrote called Love Changes Everything.
Big jam.
Well.
Fucking
Yeah.
CFTR, love that fucking
Yeah.
thing. Okay, what makes more money for you, Romantic Traffic or Love Changes Everything?
Romantic Traffic. Strangely, like after all these years, it's weird. But anyways, yeah.
Did I know? But that was fascinating. Like
Really?
Bob refusing to break in for Miles Goodwin dying. He's like, no, fuck this.
Whatever.
He should have died at a more convenient time.
Could have been a lady.
Could have been a cover.
Which is not, did I give you a mind blow with this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
good.
I wasn't sure.
What's a mind blow with this?
Well,
Oh,
this is-
you buckle
you
up.
ready?
It's a big one.
You
It's a big
ready?
one.
This is not an original song.
Wait a minute. Time out. Are you saying No More I Love Yous by Annie Lennox is a cover?
It's a cover.
Do you know what I'm kicking out? Like, I'm going to put this together in the next couple of days. Is songs you
did.
love.
Oh, yeah.
But you still have time, by the way.
I sent you
Everyone has
something.
time. Okay,
I
then,
sent
then
you.
it's going to be in there.
Okay.
But songs you loved, like, oh, I love No More I Love Yous, and then you find out later, oh, that's a cover. This could be an example. Somebody should kick this out.
Yeah.
You ready? We're going to roll
Here
it
we
in
go.
here. Okay.
And it sounds very different. Can you guess what year this came out? Just by the sound of it.
Just wait.
That drum sound right
I can tell
there.
by that reverb on
Yeah.
the drum.
From your precious face.
1988.
Earlier.
It's earlier than that.
Are you stupid?
84?
Close. 85. 1985. It's a couple dudes, English dudes named David Freeman and Joseph Hughes.
Wow.
Also known as Lover Speaks.
Wow.
That's the name of the band. And what's interesting, each track on this Lover Speaks album, the album's called No More I Love Yous, is based on a concept in Roland Barthes' book, A Lover's Discourse, Fragments. It's a concept album.
Wow.
Yes.
Canada Kev says that we're confusing gibberish with automatopoeia.
Automatopoeia is a word that sounds like buzz is automatopoeia. Buzz is a word that sounds like what it is.
Yeah, listen, I'm an English major from the University of Toronto. Don't you dare mansplain.
Did you finish it? Did you finish it?
Yeah.
No, good for you. I never finished anything.
I got it somewhere.
Went there for a little bit.
Yeah,
it should have it up there.
Honors BA. I know I should have it in the.
So this actually made it number 58 on the UK singles chart.
Really?
Yeah, in 1986. Yeah, so that was my mind blow.
That's really interesting.
That is not an original Annie Lennox song.
And I would say that see, I only liked it casually, like when it was on, whatever. It's always nice. But I never really thought on it too hard.
Yeah.
But I would have assumed it was an original.
Sure.
Me too.
Sounds like, of course, this is an Annie Lennox song.
Yeah,
like Walking on Broken Glass.
It's neat when artists would pick a random cover and stick it in the mix like that. Like Bowie had one on Let's Dance.
So dibba dibba dip 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 da. Does that count? I guess.
See, that to me, and again, I don't think it's automatopoeia. To me, that's scatting. Like, there's a scat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
you just like doing that.
I just like the scat, even though I'm terrible at it. But okay. But this is all about the conversation.
Yeah.
I like the fact now people will spend the next month debating whether it's gibberish, because gibberish is nonsensical words.
I gave you true gibberish.
You did a good job. But I can't wait to talk about my next gen.
You're full gibberish.
Full on, yeah.
Most of mine are could be scat. I
think yours are gibberish. I say it counts as gibberish as well, for sure.
If we're adding this caveat now, then
it's too late.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dip.
I see in Dagata Davida to me. Inagata Davida to me is gibberish because these are nonsensical words, even though we know what they're based on. That's So I still would go to bat for that. I'm going to bat for all of mine, including this monster fucking song you might have heard before.
See.
Just heard this one.
T-shirt, stupid bloody Tuesday, man. You've been a naughty boy, you let your face grow long. I am the Eggman. They are the Eggmen. I am the Walrus. Mr. City.
All right, so I'm going to bat for that line right there. Goo goo gajoob.
Is it goo goo or cuckoo?
Goo goo. Like goo goo gajoob is the line. Goo goo gajoob. And I'm going to bat as that being gibberish. Goo goo gajoob. Anyway, I also dig this song. This is, of course, from the 19th. Did you ever see the film Magical Mystery Tour? Did anyone here see the film?
I'm sure if Rob Preuss wasn't in the washroom, he'll say yes.
Oh, he's in the washroom?
Yeah, were you paying attention?
I was actually
You're so into the song.
I actually really like these trippy Beatles songs, like listening in the headphones, and I really...
You didn't even notice that Rob left.
Didn't even notice Rob left because
he's in your peripheral.
Yeah, and I was really listening closely.
Yeah, you were.
It sounds good in the fucking cans. Okay. Speaking of being in the can, I gotta get Rob back. He's my resident. I'll tell you a little 101 knowledge here, and then we'll come back to Magical Mystery Tour. So John Lennon wrote this song. I know it gets credited to Lennon McCartney, but that was their deal. So this is a John Lennon song. I did want to talk about this part here, actually. Too bad Rob's missing this. Okay. So this is actually... It's on the Magical Mystery Tour EP, of course. It's the B-side to the single Hello Goodbye. Okay, come back. I want to talk to you.
I did see the movie.
You did see the movie, of course you did. Yeah,
it's just weird. Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it was critically acclaimed. People didn't like it, right?
It was worth checking out once for just to say I did, but you didn't miss anything. It's interesting. This totally fits in the gibberish in a larger picture too, though, because the fact that these are sort of the words sound like they make sense, but it's still sort of nonsense.
Well, okay, yes, but I was thinking words not making sense are still like they're still saying something.
Yeah,
I don't think that's gibberish. Like to me, goo goo gajoob, goo goo gajoob. There, now we're talking gibberish.
But gibberish I think it can also be words.
But that would be more like nonsensical.
Like
nonsensical.
It's nonsense. I guess gibberish depends how you define it, with a G or a J as well. It's a great song though in headphones, right?
Yeah, well that's it. I didn't even know you fucking left. No idea. Okay, so what I find interesting about this recording is coming up here. Listen closely.
Oh yeah.
So John Lennon literally has a radio, and he's turning the dial, and he's just recording like himself flipping, just rolling the dial like we all did as kids back when we had dials on us. Although I have a radio upstairs with a dial, but if you listen, he picks up a dramatic reading of Shakespeare's King Lear, which was airing on BBC. And it's kind of like perfect, the part of King Lear that gets picked up in this like actual recording we're listening to right now. Like it's almost like you'd think, oh yeah, fucking who's George Martin added this in some
Well, you know where that inspiration comes from as well for the Beatles was from a German composer named Karl-Heinz Stockhausen. And Stockhausen is actually one of the people on the cover of Sgt. Pepper. He's in the back row.
Oh.
Okay.
And Stockhausen was an influence on them as far as a lot of his music was experimental. He actually wrote a piece for 6 transistor radios to be like, it's random kind of things that go on, but his music, he also influenced the Beatles to do Revolution No. 9. That was based on sort of his electronic and tape experiments and things as well.
Okay, here's a fun fact. So I mentioned that
that's great. Sorry, that's amazing.
Why are you apologizing?
Because I don't want to step on your intro.
So Burlington of you, man. Holy smokes. We want that kind of input from you. You're the fucking keyboardist from Spoons, for fuck's sake. Okay. I Am the Walrus was the B-side to Hello Goodbye, which was a single that the Beatles released. Also on the Magical Mystery Tour EP.
Yeah.
And there was actually a moment in time, I guess it was like December 1967, when they were number 1, 2 on the singles charts, the British singles charts. Wow. So that means this song we just heard was simultaneously number 1 and number 2 on the British singles chart. But then they banned this song on BBC because there's a line that goes like this: "Boy, you've been a naughty girl. You let your knickers down." Right. And this was deemed
so
offensive by the BBC. Okay.
Perverts.
I do have some fun facts for you here. One not so fun fact is this is the first studio recording the Beatles made after the death of Brian Epstein. So just like a not so fun fact. And of course, that dramatic reading of King Lear that we heard there, I mentioned, is from a BBC third program here. Okay, so here, let's get to some fun facts here.
Oh, yeah. So much like it, right?
Are you kidding me? I'm going to blow your fucking mind in a minute, Rob Preuss. I'm going to blow your fucking mind. Bob's coughing up a lung over here.
Sorry.
Jackie and Phil wear an N95 when Bob visits in about a couple hours.
Get a little acid reflux.
Do you have acid reflux?
I do.
That's no good. Do you take drugs for it?
I do.
I think the trumpet and soul. I know.
Good.
Okay, everybody. Tears for Fears, Sowing the Seeds of Love, which also sounds great in the headphones.
Yes.
But the opening of this song is I Am the Walrus. Like it sounds just like I Am the Walrus.
But the whole song is like this whole arrangement with the electric piano and stuff. It's just very
well. Okay, so the way I was kind of digging into Sowing the Seeds of Love, because it was always so Beatlesque, but I never broke it down. But it starts with I Am the Walrus, then it becomes Penny Lane in the middle, and at the end it's All You Need Is Love.
It's just like Beatles all over.
It's Beatles all over.
This is probably my favorite Tears for Fears song.
Really?
I think so. I've seen them, but they're amazing.
Did you see them on this tour?
No, I saw them at Casino Rama like a bunch of years ago, and it was so good. They're so good. I remember getting from Columbia House, getting their greatest hits.
Yeah,
right.
Tears Roll Down.
Yeah, and I remember my buddies. It was like I was in high school and getting it, and my buddies made fun of me incessantly, like Tears for Fears. What's wrong with you? Granted, we're listening to Boom Shalak Shalak Boom at that time.
Right, of course.
I'm listening to Tears for Fears.
I remember when Tears for Fears hit #1 in the U.S. and I was
Shout, was it?
It was Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I think.
Right.
Or
they're
Head Over
both
Heels.
from songs from the Big Chair.
Yes.
Either, maybe both.
But I had been
Shout went to #1, I think.
Yeah, but I was already a fan for a couple of years. They were such an alternative band in the early
it
with
ties
the first
to
album.
Stu Stone because of the famous cover on Donnie Darko.
Oh yes, of course. That really brought back a new life to them, right?
Yeah. Oh.
But their first album was such a huge influence on me, like in the early Spoons days when it came out in 82, 83. Yeah. So by 85, when they got to #1, I remember being in my car listening to the countdown, and I was a little disappointed. I'm like, oh my God, the secret's out. Now the whole world loves Tears for Fears, and I thought they were our band.
You had them,
Yeah, they were our band.
Oh, speaking of 82, Bruce McTavish is an old sales guy. Do you know?
I know Bruce, of course.
Bruce McTavish lives in my neighborhood, and he is like, I listened to you with Rob on
Seriously?
Toronto. Like, yeah.
Oh my
and I see him all the time.
Do
Him and I
you?
work together. Well, we've worked together like 3 different stations.
You never know who's listening.
Yeah, he used to work with us with Quality Records. I think he was with Quality.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Bruce was like, I was up at the cottage with Sandy and Gord.
Wow.
And I was like, I know Rob. So Bruce McTavish
Please
says,
say hello.
He says hello.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So funny. That's so great.
It's a small
He was
world
a label.
after.
So he was a label guy.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Anyway.
Any relation to Craig McTavish?
I don't think so. No.
Don't know.
Sells for Bell Media.
There's that trumpet.
Sales guy. There it is.
Yeah.
Sorry. He says
All you
that.
need is love. That's amazing.
It's a while. We could do a whole episode on this song, I think.
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
So so here's ready for the mind blow. So
Okay.
Roland Orzabal. Did I say his last name right?
Yes.
Okay, so we all know him like the
Organ
front man for Tears for Fears. Okay. This is a quote from him. Ready? I dug this up in some article they did about this song, and he goes, I Am the Walrus starts off at one tempo and ends up at another tempo. So we programmed the click from 84.5 beats per minute to go all the way up right at the end when it's going mad to 88.5 beats.
From what to
84
what?
to 88.
84.5. Okay.
I mean, it's cool though.
Then he says, then we
A bad
recut it.
drummer
But
will
here,
give you
hold on.
that.
I'm going somewhere else because I don't even know what all that means. Then we recut it and then we had it and it was working pretty well. So Roland's like, yeah, like we did completely copy I Am the Walrus and that's what it sounds like. But then, do you know Dave Bascombe?
Yep.
Okay. They talked to him.
Yeah.
And he seems to know more of what's going on with Sowing the Seeds of Love. So let me get rid of Sowing the Seeds of Love. He says, actually, they did not copy I Am the Walrus by the Beatles. They did not. But he says they did copy a song that was copying I Am the Walrus. You ready for this mind fucking blow? This is the song that they actually ripped off for the opening of Sowing the Seeds of Love. You ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think Rob will really appreciate this. Rob, tell me when you recognize this.
Oh, is this the Ruddles? Yes. Because I was like, it is the I Am the Walrus, but yeah, no, it's the Ruddles. Amazing.
This is Piggy in the Middle by the Ruddles.
Right. Oh my God.
So Dave Bascombe is like, actually, no, we did not use I Am the Walrus.
That's amazing.
We used Piggy in the Middle.
Right.
Listen to this.
That's so good. Have you seen the Ruddles?
No, I've never seen it. No.
You need to see
I
the
remember
Ruddles.
when the guy died, I remember I dug into the Ruddles.
Yeah.
I missed the Ruddles. And then I'm like,
the film is so good. You need to see the film. It needs to be your thing for 2024.
So he borrowed this album from
yeah.
his manager, Dave Bascombe borrowed this album, and it's got Piggy in the Middle by the Ruddles. He says he doesn't think he ever gave it back, but
Amazing.
he took the template for the tempo
Yeah.
from this song.
Amazing.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But Roland, meanwhile, thinks it's I Am the Walrus, like everyone else thinks. But Dave's like, no, actually, it's Piggy in the Middle by the Ruddles.
So funny.
Which is wild. I think that's fucking wild.
Neil Innes was the guy from the Ruddles who passed away, who wrote all the songs, and he also played guitar on Tears for Fears. He played with them as well.
wow.
He did like the solo on Everybody Wants to Rule the World, I believe. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And Basement Dweller just says, since we're talking Tears for Fears, he says his favorite is Head Over Heels. And I remember I went to U of T, as I mentioned moments ago. Actually, I don't bring that up very often, but I should because that's a big fucking deal that I got into it and I got a degree from U of T.
Good for you. Congratulations.
I am a gifted student, but I didn't always apply myself. Okay. But I'm Head Over Heels was filmed in a U of T library.
Yes, that's right.
And I remember, like, that was like the fun fact that, oh, look, this is where they filmed Head Over Heels.
But that was before. That was well before you were there.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
That was
Yeah,
like
I know.
85.
It's like, I had Cynthia Dale here.
Yeah.
And I just said, hey, we both went to Michael Power High School. And she's like, how old are you? And she's like, oh, I was gone. Like, I mean, I never suggested I was there at the same time as Cynthia Dale. Like, Cynthia Dale's 63 years old.
Is she? Wow.
Like, unless she was, in school for like 15 years. And you know what?
never know.
As I learned from Tommy Boy, which was filmed at U of T. See, everything ties together. Tommy Boy was filmed at U of T. Lots of people go to school for 15 years. Mm-hmm. They're called doctors. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Shout out to another Happy Madison production where we learned if peeing your pants was cool, call me Miles Davis, which all comes back to Randy Bachman saying he played with Miles Davis. And when I play the clip of Randy Bachman saying he played with Miles Davis, Robert Lawson says that didn't happen.
Also, that whole thing about him hanging out with the Beatles, I thought was good too. Robert's reply to
it's a polarizing episode because there's a lot of people who don't think it's fair to Randy. Right. And I did get a note from a listener of the program who says that the thing about Randy saying he hung out with the Beatles does not appear in any of Randy's like autobiographies.
Yeah. Weird.
So he's wondering where, and I will find out from Robert, but where did Robert hear Bachman say he hung out with the Beatles?
Right.
Like, so, that's the kind of, like, I don't know, right? Like, I have no fucking clue if he said that, but Lawson, who studies this fucking band, the Guess Who, and studies Bachman, says Bachman tells that story. Yeah. Well, I need the info where he tells that story. Basement Dweller says not Neil Innes on Shout.
Oh, not Neil Innes. Oh, I thought he played.
You know what? Basement Dwellers are Robert Lawson.
You can fact check me all you want.
Have they ever been in the same room at the same time?
I feel like he played guitar on some song then. Maybe not that one, but maybe I'm wrong.
Get it right. I like when... who was it? Michael Williams got the wrong Pink Floyd song that had a certain. So sometimes you just misspeak, and then 100. The best way to find something out is to say a mistruth, and then 100 fucking people will say.
They'll correct you.
I said Rick Ocasek spelled his name like Rick Emmett, and I've been hearing left, right, and center that Rick Ocasek is R-I-C, and Rick Emmett is R-I-K. By the way, it's a great episode of Toronto Mike with Rick Emmett. He did not blow me off for shitting all over Randy Bachman. All right, guys, we're done.
What?
And I target, that's it. I target 2 hours. We went like a little bit over, but I had a fucking great time with you guys. This is our last episode of 2023.
Right. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
So let the arguments begin. What's gibberish? What's automatopoeia? What's nonsense? What's like
they all flow like rivers in music. You know, they all go. There's a place for all.
Who needs
of them.
labels, man?
Yeah, man. We go beyond labels.
We're not here for labels. Come on.
Enjoy Aunt Jackie and Uncle Phil.
Yes, of course. I'm literally.
What time do you want us to be there? I can
come
bring
on up.
the whole
You know what? We're doing lasagna and a porchetta. Nice. It's going to be very nice. Yes, the Italian side.
Elvis was just here because he comes over for Festivus. My buddy Elvis. Rob,
I love the Elvis episode.
Oh yeah, good. Okay, good. Somebody does good. Now I remember he for a period of time I knew him as a vegan. He was a vegan. Right?
Okay.
He didn't get meat lasagna from Palma Pasta. But he took me to a TFC match, and then we were going to get some food at halftime. And he ordered the porchetta, and he wolfed it down beside me.
Wow.
And I remember I said, I thought you were like a vegan. Like, that's a pig, porchetta. And he's like there's some exemption or whatever. I'm at TFC or whatever. Like, there was like a meat.
Oh, he's got it in his mind.
Like an exception.
Nice.
But I remember him wolfing down the porchetta, and I'm like, you can't eat that. You're either a vegan or you're not, right? There's no middle, right?
No middle ground?
No middle ground, man.
Have you ever been a vegan in your life, Mr. Rob Preuss?
No.
What about you, Bob?
Oh, come on.
It might help with.
Come on, look at me.
Might help with your acid reflux.
It might help with my acid reflux. I apologize for that.
Well, you don't have to be a vegan, but you can eat mindfully and you can make choices that aren't consistently
Speaking of,
bad
what's
things.
pissing me off? I listened to some a podcast forum. I listened to Ongoing History of New Music. You ever heard of this podcast?
Yeah.
So Alan Cross gets money from like the Beef Board of Canada or something like, and he spews this bullshit about how environmentally friendly and responsible consuming beef is in Canada. And I listened to this, and it's like the number one thing you can do for climate change. If you cared about the environment and you were going to do one thing, the number one thing you could do to have the most effect on the planet is to stop eating meat.
Yes.
That's the best thing you can do for the environment is stop eating beef. But if the Beef Council is listening, I do have a sponsorship opportunity. January 1st, 2024, and I will spew the same bullshit that Alan Cross spews on his Ongoing History of Music if the price is right. So don't forget me. Rob Preuss, where are you off to now? Burlington?
Meeting a friend for lunch actually here in Etobicoke. An old.
What time should I be there?
You'd be there at noonish. Just an old friend that I grew up with, and he lives in Toronto, and I haven't seen him in a while, so we're going to meet for lunch.
And you chose South Etobicoke.
Sure did.
Yep,
Why not?
Southern Etobicoke.
Halfway in.
Is it the Lucky Dice?
I don't remember what it's called. I got to get a message from him. But yeah, just hanging out there, hanging out with my family, back with my mom and my sisters and everybody.
Nice.
And
was it tough your first Christmas without your dad? Is that tough?
It's weird. Yeah, like it hit me in a weird way.
Same question for you, Bob. No, I know it's not your first.
No, it's weird because he was still alive last Christmas, but he was like stuck in the bed. It was sad.
wasn't good. That's
so it felt weird this year because everything else seemed the same, and I can't believe that a fucking year's gone by.
Happy belated 1 year anniversary, by the way.
Thank you.
For our shows together.
That's right.
That came up in memories on Facebook the other day.
Yes.
Yeah. And
It's been a year.
You're a matchmaker, Rob and I. There you go.
We've been pretty consistent this year too,
it's
right?
been good. Yeah, we've done all right. 12 we said, right? So we did one a month.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's amazing we did one a month. That's awesome. I can't wait to see you guys in January.
Yes, sir.
Bob, and you're off to
off to Richmond Hill for Aunt Jackie and Uncle Phil's place, and then I'm going to Detroit just to watch two horrible basketball teams
in Detroit.
play.
Right, yes.
Yeah. Wow. And that you should come up with a topic. And that brings us to the end of our 1,399th show. Big milestone episode tomorrow. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm at Toronto Mike. Bob is at Bob Willette. Rob Preuss is at Rob Preuss X. Much love to all who made this possible. Great Lakes Brewery, they're back in January. Palma Pasta, they're back in January. Raymond James Canada, I'm going to talk to Cooksey, see if we can find a Christmas miracle here. Moneris takes a little break. Recycle My Electronics, they're in for all of 2024, so they're back in January. And Ridley Funeral Home, they're back in January. See you all tomorrow when Mohit Rajans drops by to kick out the jams. That's big episode 1400. There might be Public Enemy. Be there.